What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Um, so we're gonna talk about this quick topic. I'm not feeling too hot, so y'all gotta excuse me. But we're gonna talk about the 35 plus hookup culture. And for you people who are under 35, y'all might want to listen to some of this since y'all thinking, that ain't gonna never be me, cause that's how you wind up in the culture. So, um, the first thing that I would definitely say that some of y'all not gonna get into. Ron, what's going on? Black Zeus, what's up? The world of the elderly. Ooh. But the one thing we gonna talk about is if you're in the 35 and up hookup culture, let's just be honest. Hotep, Naima, Ron, Tony, Devin. If you thinking ain't gonna be no catfishing because you grown, you out of your mind. 35 and up people are still catfishing. Oh, from Gary, what's popping with it? You know, Scoopy, yeah, I see you. But if you think that people are not gonna catfish you because you too old for games, let me explain something to you. People aren't actually as confident as they say they are when they say I'm grown. Okay, Aubrey, what's happening? Jay, what's going on? So don't assume, if you meet somebody on online, or even if you meet somebody in person, they can be catfishing their life to you. And you come to find out everything else. You know? So let's not be how can I say this? Let's not be full of it, okay? You know, but this is part of the issue that goes on in these streets out here, because it ain't just looks. And I'm gonna get into looks also, because sometimes the catfishing is also looks, because whether you like to admit it or not, when you're in your 30s and up, everybody ain't gonna be fly like they was in their 20s. Don't worry about World War III. Change y'all. I ain't even worry about World War III. I don't even look. We knew. I said years ago that we was gonna go to war with Trump being the president. Y'all just catching up, fine. I'm like, this is part of what was gonna go on, but I don't think this is gonna necessarily be a war with Iran, though. Just my opinion. But anyway, see, Naima, she was catfished a few times, and fellas, and I know y'all think catfishing is a term for just the ladies do catfishing. No, because Naima ain't the only woman I heard say that. It's a lot of brothers out here pulling that catfish side of the game. Catfish on the side of fries, with a red soda. But we want to be completely honest about this. So, when you go to 35 and up, that's part of the hookup culture. It's definitely part of the hookup culture. Thanks, Poke Dog. Thank you, fam. Now I got to go to another part of this, because we're going to have to talk about some serious things. And like I said, I ain't feeling too hot, so I might be off the chain. I don't even know, because I'm not feeling that well. But the blame game is over, but it's strong. And what I mean by that is, when you hooking up at a certain age, nobody want to hear your damn story about how you blame everybody else in your life for your life being what it is. You too old to have a sob story, okay? So that's problem number one. So nobody cares that, nobody liked me as a child. Oh, my ex cheated on me. Nobody cares, because we too old for this. We too old for this. What's up, Legend? Thanks, fam. We too old for it. One man sent me his brother's picture. I'm sorry, Cupcake. That's hilarious, though. But Legend, thank you, fam. But all the women in my life have been no good. All the men in my life have been no good. Yeah, okay. All right. So what about you? Because see, The reason why I say pump and see what happens is the way that, yeah, that's pretty much it. But the reason why I say the blame game is over is because I'm gonna tell you what winds up happening. No matter where you go, there you are. And for all y'all who don't understand that, you might be blaming all these people, but when you're 35 and up, people are gonna address you on the things that you're doing. Because they might just meet you or just get to know you, and they're like, really? This how you get down? You keep saying this everybody else, but you know, the ghost game is heavy 35 and up, but they will tell you a few things about yourself in the meantime, because I think as you get older, you can communicate better. Might be a little bit more harsh, but it's still better. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Oh man, I appreciate you, man. But you know, we don't want to talk about this. That, you know, you're gonna get ghosted because you grown. You know, you grow. What's up, Red? You know, how you doing? You're gonna get ghosted because you grown. You're gonna get ghosted because you grown. That's just what happens. You know, at the end of the day, we're not gonna play these games. You know, we not. 35 is the new 85. Shit. Yeah, it could be, Aaron. Would you deal with? Oh, I'm gonna get into age too after a while. Well, because that's part of the thing that goes on that we don't want to talk about. But for right now, I just gotta let me double down on this blame game real quick. What's going on, Kendra? How you doing? You know, DM, what's popping? See, once you get 35 plus and you blaming everybody and it's everybody else's fault, and it's like, is it really? Is it really? Is it everybody else's fault you ain't got no manners? That's what's everybody else's fault. Is it everybody else's fault you rude as hell? Is it everybody else's fault that you inconsiderate? You know, no, it's not. Roger Report, what's popping? What's understood don't need to be explained. I don't think it's understood, fam. I think we out here stupid as a mother. You know, but this is part of the 35 plus hookup culture. Because we hooking up. And like I said, we don't want to hear your stories. You know what? I don't care about your story. Because what winds up happening is you meeting people and you assume that they're grown, right? And what goes on is this. As you assume that they're grown, you assume that they should take a look at themselves. And if they haven't taken a look at themselves, you're going to say, well, it's too old to not know it's you too. Because you are the common denominator in your whole life. What's good, Curtis? Deacon, what's popping? Wayman, what's good? Time Bandit. You know, and that goes without actually, how can I say this? That doesn't have to be spoken. That you grown as hell now. You know what your mess ups is. And a lot of people don't want to say when you're 35 and up, you know your mess ups. You know why you here. You know what I'm saying? You like Marshawn Lynch. We know why we here. Now that I said that, now we're going to get into these other things now. So here's with the 35 and up hookup culture. One thing that's in the mix is baby fever. But you got a group of people who either have baby fever and who want to have children, who normally either didn't have kids in their 20s or, you know, or they want more kids before they shut it down per se. And you hooking up with people 35 plus who are in a whole nother demographic of this. You might be dealing with men like at my age, I'm a few years away from stop paying child support. I might not want to have no more kids. You know, Mom, what's going on? So, and then you got people who got older kids who don't want to start from scratch. You know, oh, my kid is, 16 years old. You think I want to have a baby right now? No. So this part of the hookup culture is you got people trying to hook up because they got baby fever, and you're looking at people that are more established and you're like, ooh, I can have a kid with them. Or they're a smart person. They're a good person. They got them benefits. They got good benefits. They made good life decisions. But one of the life decisions that they might make is, I don't want to talk to you. Well, I don't want to have a baby with you. Appreciate it, Tiff. Like this is what goes on where you want to hook up with people who don't necessarily want to go through that again. And for the people who had baby mama drama or quote unquote baby daddy drama, you really think they're trying to sign up with it for you and, oh, you could trust me? They don't know you. They know their kids and their baby mama and their baby daddy longer than they know you, but all of a sudden trust you with that. And the part of that we forget about is the people in the hookup culture, even 35 and up. The vast majority of people, whether you know it or not, maybe want to be committed, but not necessarily want to be married. So you got people with baby fever who want to have babies to fulfill their life and legacy, but they don't really want to be there for a commitment. And they're talking to people who by that age already have kids. So what you think they finna do? Make a kid with you? Nah. Is it free at last? That's part of the thing. Is it we can't get married? I'm sorry, Jade. I'm sorry. All we can do is practice, baby. I don't want to make no more kids. That's just not my thing. Top hat, what's happening? But and the reason why I'm saying the things that I'm saying today is because, like I said earlier, people gonna realize you're gonna get 35 and up if you're not there already. Oh, he said, I got you, Tony. He said, cut it out. But the baby fever is always in the mix. It's always been in the mix because you're dealing with a society of people, who don't want to deal with it or do want to deal with it. But now I got to get to the child support and the older kids things, because this is part of the 35 and up hookup culture. You might meet men who are at the end of paying child support or near the end of paying child support. And you might meet women who may be near the end of receiving child support. And these two type of people hook up, but this is where some of the I want to get married stuff comes from. You're going to figure it out, Tank. Oh, trust me, you're going to figure it out. But make the best decision for you. That's all I'll say. But those two demographics are the people that's about to stop paying and stop receiving. In some ways, they're going to hook up. I hate to say this, but you get a lot of men who like, I can finally have my money to myself. I can finally be all about me. I can finally, I can finally do what I want to do. And it ain't the money that's necessarily over their heads. A lot of times it's the jail and no license and all that stuff that's over their head. Now they're finally free, right? And then you get these mothers who now they don't have a supplemental income. Now they're looking for a quote unquote man that want to get married and I want to be in a relationship. And the guys are looking at it like, how old is your kid again? Your kid 18, huh? And now you ready to get married. Oh, okay, I hear you. Harambe, thanks, fam. You guys like Deshaun Watson? Come on, man. Childless and wants a grown man with at least one child out there. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah, they do want you to accept their kids, but as you get older, you're not trying to do that. When you're 35 and up, you're looking at the kids like they about to be gone. And that's the thing about the money part. These, the men who don't have to pay no more, they're looking at it, now I got money to go on vacation. Now I got money to, to go to happy hour and quote unquote the bar. Now I got money to live my best life. I got this extra income, right? And then, so now you might see these guys back out in the streets just enjoying themselves. And they might not want a commitment because of the fact that they've been committed to child support for so long. You get what I'm saying? Woo! One kid's mother. Yeah, I get you, Tony. I get you. Now the other thing about the older kids, you're assuming that in the hookup culture, as far as 35 and up, you're assuming a lot of these kids are older. And what I mean by older, I mean, say 9 up, right? What's up, Sister George? So you're assuming that these kids are older. So now you can, quote unquote, spend more time if y'all dating, if y'all interacting, if you coming by. You get what I'm saying? Give us free. So now you got these older kids and you're looking at it like, yeah. Now I can come by. Because when the kids are younger, they're looking at it like, I don't want you touching my kid. Like in some ways, you get, when the kids are younger, it's more of a family environment, but it's kind of like, you don't necessarily want to be stepdaddy or stepmama per se, or you might want to be, but because they're so young. But when they get older, it's not like that. It's like, okay, you got your parents or whatever, you got your mom, your dad. All right, I'm just here, I'm just here for your mama. You know what I'm saying? You about to get up out of this house in a few years anyways. I don't know why you looking at me sideways. Why don't you go play the little PlayStation while I go smash your mama? She need a man anyways. So that whole hookup culture changes because you don't need to be these kids' daddy. Now you could just be stepdaddy that comes through, beats that thing up a little bit. And with the women, it's a little different because the majority of men, the overwhelming majority of men don't have their kids. So guess what? How can I say this? They're never looking to play mama no way. Because they might not even see these kids. So and if the kids are older, that's a whole nother animal, right? Because you ain't never got to be mama. So now you hooking up and you're looking for love, affection, looking maybe to get a wedding, but you're looking at people like, I just finished these papers, so I'm gonna get into some new papers with you. I don't know about that. They don't know. And whether people know it or not, that's a commitment you might not want to take. You might not want to take on that commitment. I didn't even know that sucker pause like that. But anyway, the other thing, and this is where some people have a hard time. And let me see what's going on with this dang on thing, because now it's tripping. Okay. Now, I don't know why this shit paused on me. Hold on. Let me look at my doggone self real quick, because this whole computer just froze. Well, the computer didn't freeze. The StreamYard froze. And I've heard that before. So let me mute myself to see if this shit popping. No, I ain't. Why? It's because I'm black. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. It was cutting off on me before it cut off on y'all. Now, let me get back into this and just jump real in this. Now, we got the kids out the way. Let's get into the doubling back culture. See, 35 and up hookup culture, you got people who double back. And what I mean by double back, what people talk about with my first choice, when you had your first choice and you picked your first choice and it didn't work out, and your second choice, who you thought you could just put on ice, right? Now you want to double back because now your second option or your third option or the person that was orbiting you or the person you friend zone, as you get older, they're looking kind of good. Or let me say this, they're looking better as a choice than the people you chose before them. So guess what? It's a lot of people who are 35 and up who double back. The Temptations in the building. I'm the kind of guy that believes that she'll reunite. What up, George? We got people who doubling back. So now that you're doubling back, that doesn't mean the person that you want to double back to necessarily is going to pick you. Now you might get friend zoned by the person you friend zone. Now you might be orbiting the person that you put in the outer space. Now you might be your third choice, your third option's fifth option. But guess what? You're going to try to work your way back into their heart. You Jaheim trying to find my way back. Because it's the culture of doubling back. And it's not just doubling back because they're good people. You know what I'm saying? Time bandit. You also double back because sometimes the people that you looked over, whether you know it or not, they became better people. They became better people than you. And then you started to realize, oh, dang, they're such a good person. Yeah, they were. They were. And guess what? They too good for you now. That's what happened. So now you trying to do your thing. You want to hook up with them and they like, you on ice. You on ice, shawty. You going to stay on ice too. You know what I'm saying? You going to stay on ice. And now we don't talk about all the people along the way. When I'm saying doubling back, who you got, like, I'll do it 50-50. You got half of the people who feel sorry that they have to double back because they made a bad decision, or they see in time that they made a bad decision. You got it. But at the same time, you got the other half of people who doubling back out of resentment to a degree because they still feel like they're better than you. So they're gonna come at you with you always wanted me. I'm giving you the shot that you never had, but you're not really telling them what's going on, right? And what's going on is they fell off and you leveled up to a degree. So you're gonna have all that double back, either somebody like you or either somebody don't necessarily like you. Because at the same time, for the people who are good people, who treated people good, you're not gonna run into good people or people who are solid or people who got your back or people who gonna care about you or people who are romantic. You're not gonna run into a good catch as often the older you get. You get what I'm saying? You're not. Whether you like it or not, that's not what you're gonna run into. And that's part of the I need to hurry up and double back and get this person because you might not run into them again. Now, part of doubling back has to do with hooking somebody in. Or as you get older, you feel like you made all the mistakes. That's what we say. I'm grown. I made my bad decision. I made all these mistakes. I know how to be a good man to a woman, or a woman might feel like she knows how to be a good woman to a man because, I know what I was doing wrong. I know that I might have been arrogant in my 20s. I know that I might have been selfish. I know I might have been too superficial. Black man being brutally honest. What's happening, fam? My bad. I know I've done this, that, and the third, right? It's like, okay, I got you. But here's the thing. You got even people 35 and up. That's a nice talking point. You know what I'm saying? That is a nice talking point. But in reality, they playing the same games that they was when they was in their early 30s, early and mid 20s, late 20s. It's the same games over and over again. It's just the same game with a different age. They might have refined it. They might have said some smoother words, but you're trying to get your hooks into these people. And you're trying to get your hooks into these people so that they can, they can holler at you. Oh man, I feel you, Karan. I feel you. It is dated, but what's up? The habitual line steppers. But now you got people trying to. I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get you hooked. I'm gonna woo you. I'm gonna romance you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do all the freaky stuff you like. I'm a very kinky girl. The kind you won't bring home to mother. You want all of that. But it's only to get they hooks in you to commit, because the one thing you'll see, like I said, it ain't a lot of people like it is when you're younger. You don't think about it that much. Like, you really want to go back out into these streets now that I got my hooks in you committed. Now, and see, the thing about getting their hooks in, the same type of things that go in to people who, now you're gonna find out the real about me after 6-7 months. You have the impatience games where, I'm grown, I'm gonna be real with you up front, but you're gonna still find out things 6 months to a year from now if you're with that person. You're gonna still find out stuff. They're still no good, ain't that right, Wayman? Chill out, Devin. You know I'm silly, but that's what goes on. Ricky Lake and Jenny Jones. and that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue in itself is we doing all of this talking and chitter chatter, and we don't want to talk about, okay, I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you at some point. And when I get you, am I gonna keep you because I'm good, or am I gonna keep you because you've been in the dating market so long, you don't want to go back out into the dating market because I might be the best option you got, even though I falsified who I was. You get what I'm saying? Ooh, they tried to double back with Tyler's and babies. Yeah, you feel like one of those guys, don't you? I feel you on that one, Tiff. That sucks. Them hoe facts. Oh, that's the pirate. Yeah, it might be. But let me take this another a step further. And let's talk about the hookup culture of 35 and up with all of the people who are 35 and up. Because one of the reasons you don't want to go back out into the dating market if you meet somebody, or it's assumed that you won't, is all of the people who fell off. Yeah. When you look, we're not looking like athletes and actors out here, okay? We're not looking like that. We're not looking like our favorite entertainer at 35. When people be showing the picture, like Taraji P. Henson, this is what 40 look like. What is that? What's Angela Bassett? This is what 60 look like. No. That's what that look like in Hollywood. But in Hollywood, it don't look like that. It don't look like that. The looks, go down. They go down like Mary J. Blige. I'm going down. They going down, okay? When we say people hit the wall at 30, we ain't talking about 35, because you still you want to go out and party. You still think you got it. And see, and when I keep saying still, I'm saying that for a reason. Because, for y'all, I've said it before. I just turned 40 a few months back. I still look good for my age. You know what that means? That means you fell off. Okay? Solo, man, I don't want to talk to you, fam, because the damn Vikings won. I ain't got time for your shenanigans today. I'm brokenhearted. I'm crying tears in the Michael Thomas jersey right now. I'm sick of y'all right now. Kirk Cousins is not supposed to be a winner. Anyway, but thanks, fam. But when you're 35 and up, a lot of people fell off. A lot of people. That's when, shout out 25, yeah, whatever. I ain't 25, I was 25 years ago, whatever. But everybody fell off. I ain't gonna say everybody. I would just say about 90% of people fell off. Okay, 90%. Because like if you went to the movies and they carded you, if you go to the liquor store and they look at you, then if you go to the gas station and people give you that, player, what's happening? That's because you fell off. You might look good for your age. If you tell somebody, well, I'm gonna get into that. Don't worry, because I got a few more topics before I get into dating younger. Matter of fact, you're right. After I finish talking about this age, I'm gonna just go to dating younger. All right, what's going on, fam? Man, I ain't worried about the Vikings winning because no damn Prince. Got time for this shenanigans. But that's the thing. You had a six-pack in your 20s. Not necessarily in your 30s. You might have 4. You might get to your 40s. You might have 2. You might get to your 50s. You're just hoping that you got that is flat, right? The older people get, the older they look, and it's supposed to go that way. You get older, you don't get younger. I'm a young-looking 38, and I'm a bigger guy. But when my age, look, you see, I'm saying, Ro, I'm trying to tell them, as you get older, the dating market and the hookup culture, you're gonna have to be turned on by a woman with a little bit of cellulite. Woman with, who she might have a C-section scar. Ladies, the dude, I don't want to put money on nothing. I did want to bet you at first though, so I'm sitting here lying, but glad you didn't take that bet. Anyway, the thing about it is, the guys can tell you, back in the day, I was swole. Look at these arms. Well, look at his chest, and look at his stomach. I'm just saying. Because I'm glad Rogue said something about the BBW stuff. I ain't gonna lie. The older you get, you start looking at people who you wouldn't think is attractive when you was younger. Ooh, you look like you used to be fine. I could do that. I could see you. I could see you was fine like 10 years ago. We could make it come together. We could make it come together. Like we could hook up like the year when you was fine and the year when I was fine. We could oil each other up and wrestle like 2 water buffalo tonight. Like that's how it be going. You got when she was a young baby mama, she was fine, but now she an auntie. But you got yeah, her case got a little bit more cushion than they used to, but I could tell it was a cake in there one time. So it's just bad. It's just bad. The looks, fella, you're gonna have to accept the fact that things ain't what they used to be. You said, not you, Cal. Cal, I'm sorry, man. It's gonna happen, fam. It's gonna happen. You ain't gonna like it, but it's gonna happen. You're gonna look at somebody like, She gonna, you're gonna date women who have lingerie that had a sheer partners, and they're gonna take the picture with their arm over their stomach because they still got legs, they still got ass, still got titties, but they got gut though. Whoo, when they wear the dress and it look like the little golf hole in the middle where the belly button is. Yep. And the ladies, they say the same thing about the men. I'm gonna tell y'all, looks fell off. You got the nicest shirt on, it's buttoned up, but the stomach is poked out. Like, listen, man, it's a lot of guys 35 and older built like TD Jakes. I'm just saying. I know the ladies didn't want to tell y'all this, but there's a lot of guys 35 and up that are black that are built like TD Jakes, okay? Hey, George, you can't be doing me like that, fam. Come on, fam. You know, that's what's going on. And I'm a man. He got the taco meat on. You know, he built like Big Worm. You know what I'm saying? He rubbing his stomach. You know, and when he rubbing his stomach, he can extend his whole arm to rub his stomach, but he got to pull it all the way in to rub his chest because, you know what I'm saying, his stomach that far out. You know, I'm just saying, like, looks have fell off. And that's why, you know, you got to get a guy who got a good job, who look good, who take care of a home or whatever, Piggly Wiggly, looking like George Macon when he be missing that heavy bag, but we ain't going to talk about that, George. You know what I'm saying? Because TDJ's got money, though. Yeah, TDJ's got money, though. But guess what? This is what happens in the dating market. Carl Winslow. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But see, I take they built like Carl Winslow, but dressed like TD Jakes. It's the same build, but TD Jakes be wearing skinny jeans. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem right there. That's the problem. The looks have just gone out of the building. Out of the building. Oh man. It look like baby hippo. It's the stress and alcohol. No, it ain't the stress and alcohol. What about the food? What about the third dinner that they keep having every night? What about not getting up off the couch? I'm just saying. You got a bad watch on your arm. Sinister, what's happening? You know, you got a fly watch, you got a fly car. You know, because when you get older, and I gotta say, you know, when you get the older you get, you see people get in their car and the car do that dip. It ain't because you old and you can't get it, it's because you so fat that you dip down. You know what I'm saying? What about dental hygiene? Man, we not gonna do this, fam. We not gonna do this because I still gotta go get my teeth cleaned my damn self. And I gotta get a crown put in because I just got a root canal. But yeah, dental health, mental health. Oh man. Spiritual health, because you know when you're 35 and up, you got people who are spiritual, like, oh, you know, this is one thing I hate here. I made mistakes and I've made mistakes and I made mistakes. How you still doing the same thing then? I'm just saying. You know, I'm gonna get that cleaning coming up. I ain't tripping. Now, since well wanted to know about the younger thing. Oh, okay, let's talk about it. When you're 35 and up in the hookup culture, you have the option to date younger. You have the option to date younger. But that don't necessarily mean the younger crowd is going to look at you in the way that you want to be seen. You know, that's right. It's a habit. You know, how come the woman find God after the... I ain't gonna do that. You know, but, you know, when you're a man, you know, I could date younger. Yeah, there's a certain parts you can date younger. If you got your stuff together, if you look good for your age, you know, she's already been talked up to get an older man who's quote unquote more mature, this, that, and the third. But here's the thing. She's still young or younger than you if you go too far down in age. What's up, Dizzy? She's still younger than you. She might be attracted to guys in her age group that are built like the way she like it. Dana asking you, are you white? Because, you know, Dana like them Asians, though. So you should have told you was Asian. She'll love you. So like, oh, you Asian? Oh, hit it from the back and hit me with that. What's up? Anyway. But that's part of the issue. Like, you could date if you're a man, you could date a younger chick, but she might be attracted to men in her age group or who look young like you, because you might look good for an older man. You might be well groomed. You might be fly for an older guy. But you know, if it's too much of a gap, or she looks too hot and you don't look too hot, you might be sounding like Donald Sterling. Don't bring those young guys to my game. Don't you stop hanging around those young guys. No. Do you want them to come because of that? No, don't bring them. I don't want those black guys around. You might get insecure like that. So that's the issue. Now, on the flip side, the women date younger. Now, when women date younger, it's looked at bad. Being a cougar and a MILF is, okay, when women get mad and talk about people like R. Kelly, they celebrate being cougars and MILFs when you just a female R. Kelly. Since you say R. Kelly always preying on younger women, that's all you are. And when you're 35 and up, some of these women are hooking up with younger men for sexual satisfaction. They haven't got any satisfaction, so they're looking for a young, virile man, and they're willing to buy some Jordans and some Air Force Ones to pay for it. Yes, they are. They willing to how can I say this? They willing to get Call of Duty. They got 2 controllers in the house. They ready to get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Oh, daddy looks so good with that Xbox controller in his hands. They don't care. They don't care. It's a lot of cougars out here tricking. You don't pay? Dana, you might say you don't pay, but it ain't tricking if you got it too, right? Dana grown. We ain't gonna, you teach them their duties as a man. Exactly. Here's your duty. Your duty is to eat this box, beat this box. Ooh, tell me I'm sexy. If I say, do I look fat? And they say, you look fine, smack me on my ass. Make me feel young again. That's what's going on. But the problem is he gonna like chicks in his age group too, or younger. Ain't spending on no box if they the younger man in the relationship. You ain't but 17 D-Ways on the planet. And see, Gabrielle be working out like a mother. She be working out. She gotta keep D-Wade. I gotta keep D-Wade. Turn this boy gay, get this daughter, but I keep D-Wade. She be on that treadmill. LC, what's happening? All right, no way to play the game, huh? But that's what this is about. If you're gonna date somebody younger, yeah, but you might not be their first choice either. You might be like, if you're a man, you might be her financial first choice, but not her. But she might not care about you, and even to the point where you might want to be committed and married to her. She still might do that. And I'm gonna tell you, here's the issue. How can I say this? When a man dates a younger woman, when she gets older, her sex drive is going to go up at a certain point when his might be going down. So that might be the window where you get cheated on. I'm gonna just tell you like that. I'm gonna just say it that way. Yeah, D-Way, that situation. Yeah. You gonna choke on some spider webs, eating the elderly box. You got to get you a few vintage pieces. She could make you a quilt or something. Dana, can you make a quilt? I'm gonna call you a vintage piece today. It's cold in this house. Whew, nice quilt to do me some justice. But that's the thing about the dating younger. If you date younger, it's very much so possible, but that don't mean you're gonna keep them either. They might just be settling into life, and they might like, you too old for me. Because when you get too much of an age gap, I would say maybe 10 years and up, you might open yourself up for the you too old for me at some point. So you got to know in the beginning, it's a questionable thing. Why would you make a quilt? See, look at that. Look at Ren making quilts. You need to make quilts, Dana. You got them quilt making eyeglasses. You got them, Dana, when you wear your hair and wear them eyeglasses, what is that teacher from the Cosby Show? That was Theo teacher that they had a crush on and she run the bun in the hair. You like that teacher from the Cosby Show right now. Yeah, that's what you be doing. I forgot her name. You lucky I screen share this stuff, find it on YouTube, but we're not going to do that. Let's talk about the next part. Since I was talking about getting older, let's talk about sexuality. 35 And sex is on the table. When you meet people, sex is on the table. They're 35 and up. Is none of these playing games. I'm a virgin. I'm a born again virgin. I just found Jesus for the 13th time. You know, none of you going sex is gonna be on the table. She can cook every day and she work out every day just for me. Woo! Got that vintage piece on there, boy. Yeah, she making you that home cooked stuff too. Baby, let me get you some red beans and rice. And I ain't talking bad about an older woman because, to be honest, I know some older women that are fine. You know, you on a road. But you 3 knuckles deep in the cougar once and she peed on my Jesus Christ. You know what? I can't watch. I can't read this. I can't read this. But when it comes to sex, that's the one thing about the 35 and up hookup culture that's probably more hookup-ish than the younger people. You know you want to have sex. You know, you see somebody, ooh, some people been going through droughts that have lasted, 57 years, you know. Somebody that, an older woman for me is somebody like 5 to 10 years older than me, really. She older than me. Faith, what's good? If I'm 40 and I meet somebody that's 45, she older than me. And I meet women who are my age, who I look significantly younger than. I don't understand it. They look at us like, what you doing with him? Like, look, I ain't got no hair, chick. You should know I'm old. That's why I'm growing this little beard out. So you can see these gray hairs. I'm not that young. But, yeah, I know they're looking for a stepdaddy. 50 is an older woman. Yeah, that's an older woman. But let's get on this sex game. Like, you got people, you got these women when they get older, all these games that they playing. Oh, I'm gonna hold out. Oh, I don't normally do this. Boy, they normally do this. They trying to get it in. They've been holding that thing for so long that they want to give it away. And it's on fire sale. It's on clearance. You know what I'm saying? And the guys are the same way. We've been passing out free sausage for decades now. It ain't nothing new. You want some of this? You want some of this? Yeah, you want some of this? Yeah, you want some of this? Semi-hard? Super hard? Soft serve? What you want? That's what's going on around here. It's a lot of people willing to hook up, and they can be honest about it. Yeah, I want you for your sex. And it's like, okay, we can do this. And the honesty is more so there. Cream pie cat. You got Rallo, man. Oh man, I'm just clowning, man. I'm just clowning, fam. But when you're 35 and up, sex is a given. It's on the table. I ain't finna really. You gonna act like you're not gonna have sex? Because a lot of times, I would say even with women, that's around the age group where if they hanging out with you, they want to screw you. Okay. They're not from a nice guy, put you in the friend zone. They didn't put too many people in the friend zone and the nice guy zone, and now they got cobwebs on it. They want it now. Most 80s and 90s chicks and homies are old retired hoes. Yeah, they are. But guess what? This is the era where people come out of retirement. But if I play more games, I can see that. They play more games because they don't want you with their money. I'm gonna get into that too. Matter of fact, let's 35 and up hookup culture. Let's talk about the lifestyles. Let's talk about the lifestyle. When you 35 and up, people ain't not trying to work with you to get it together. I'm sorry. If you're 35 and up, and you're trying to hook up with people, if you need a ride, you better get on. You better Uber your damn self. Like the lifestyles of the 35 and up culture, it shows a whole lot more prevalent if you've been making good decisions with your life. It's not taboo for a woman. Okay, let me back up for it. Why is it taboo for women to enjoy a sex life and play in the field? It's not taboo for women to enjoy their sex life. But the thing about it is, women been lying so much about their sex life. By the time you hit 35, you're like, chick, stop. Why are you lying to me? I heard these lies before. I know all of this is a lie. Okay? I know I got hurt, so I just stopped having sex. No, you didn't. Oh, y'all want me? Okay, let me. They ain't trying to get married, house, family. They gonna forever be acting a fool, straight fool. I talked about that earlier, Erica, and that's part of the lifestyle I'm talking about. Like I said earlier about the guys, the men who like, okay, let's add this one to the equation. You got people in 35 up hookup culture who got divorced, right? They're not trying. Their lifestyle is a single lifestyle and they like it because they don't want to get married again. And then you got the people who want to be married again. But I'm talking about the hookup culture. So everybody in the hookup culture, the vast majority of people in the hookup culture are trying to hook up quick. They ain't trying to hook up committed. You get what I'm saying? So of course, they just playing games because they don't want nothing but, a little bit of sex like in their 20s. And then you got people who are late bloomers who could have been the ugly duckling in their 20s, or they got their stuff together in their 30s or whatever, and now they fly, and it's the first time they actually able to shine on folks. Guess what? They're gonna cut up like a teenager. They out here showing you this is my life, this is my lifestyle, because nobody paid attention to them before. So now, it's Gucci belts and Hermes belts on all kinds of pictures. Oh, look at my new car, look at my new car, look at my new car. Woo, look at me. Look at the marble countertops with me. Woo, look at me. You showing off your lifestyle. Why? Because you advertising just like the dope boy back in the day. You advertising just like you was with the tight dress back in the day. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on. I don't know who called me, but I ain't answering. I don't know you, player. But here's the thing. They got that video. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, you get your BMW, you start cutting up. I'm so fine. She used to call me on my cell phone. Yeah, late night when she needs my. Now you feel like you're the man now. It took you 30 years to get that BMW. You think I'm gonna just settle down now? Hell no. Hell no, that's a two-seater. I'm gonna settle down now. I'm just about to get my wet. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's going. Same thing with the ladies. She might be doing the same thing because it's her lifestyle. I want to travel, and there's a lot of times lifestyle catfishing. James, what's happening? I want to travel. I want to go out to eat. Oh, I want to shop. So you ain't doing shit with your life. Because here's what we don't talk about. There's a lot of older women who are 35 and up who got divorced and all of that. I want to travel and lifestyle. Husband got tired of that shit, left her ass for another chick. And now she got to fend for herself for the first time in life. And she's looking for a guy that's going to do what? Fill that void. And you know what he's trying to do? He ain't trying to fill that void. He's trying to fill that spot. Just like I know some ladies who they got kids, they was married, I got divorced, now I can finally be free and sexy and do what I want to do. But they don't realize, baby, when you try to settle down, you got these multiple kids from this marriage. All you finna get is some Uber dick. That's all it's finna get, Uber dick. You just, this is what the hookup culture is. It's Uber sex. Hit me up. Dip, dip, dip. You coming through? Yep. I'll be there in 47 minutes. Uber sex. That's the hookup culture. Because the last husband didn't go nowhere. No. That's not the stories I'm hearing in these streets. It was always doing something, but it was just never good enough. It was never good enough. We never traveled. I seen you on a million pictures. Well, we didn't take first class. We wasn't in a presidential suite. Shut up. You went all these places. And then, hey, it is what it is. You don't date older women too much baggage? Baggage is part of the hookup culture at 35. Everybody got baggage. Everybody got baggage. I'm going to just break that to you. When you get older, everybody got baggage. You know, some people got a backpack, some people got more luggage than Prince Akeem, and I forgot what Arsenio's name was in Coming to America, where people come out and steal it. Like some people got so much baggage you can steal it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. She was a tip drill video. Hey, that's okay. Oh yeah. Thank you for saying that, George. Because let me get into that part. Because my old behind is there are a lot. The 35 and up hookup culture, the same way people are looking for the finest women in their 20s and the finest men in their 20s, that's what you're doing in your 30s and 40s. So I'm gonna tell you something. You're not looking for commitment. You looking to bang the hottest person in your age group. That's what this is about. You know, they're gonna give you the confidence to try to go younger. But first, you're gonna try to get the flyest 35-year-old, the flyest 40-year-old, the flyest 45-year-old, the flyest 50-year-old. You're like, oh, look at these vintage pieces I got. They got a rookie car from 1988 with this mini afro that ain't really lined up. You know what I'm saying? And now they're like, they stellar now. Look at them. You know what I'm saying? You fly, but you're looking for somebody that's fly, but they on the cusp of looking like a grandparent. They fly, and you go, about 5 more years, it's gonna look like you singing "Come On in My Room." I said, "Come on." You right there with it, right? The younger generation have more baggage than a 40-year. Yeah. And if you want to talk about sexual confusion, Dana, that's happening at 35 up too. You know, there's a lot of 35 and up women who got a girlfriend. You know, y'all do realize that. You know, I had a girlfriend back in the day. There's a lot of women who went from being mad at their baby daddy to having a girlfriend. It's a lot of grown women out here, 35 and up, who go both ways. I'm just saying. And whether you like to admit it or not, that's what's going on. You know, that's part of the hookup culture too. Your girlfriend might have a girlfriend. I'm just saying. Dana, I live in Houston. I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, that is going on. But like I've been living in Houston 20 years. So I've seen this for 20 years. And matter of fact, Dana, you remember Drew Hill sleeping in my bed video? That was about what? What was the video about? Somebody was sleeping in his bed with his girl, and it wound up being a girl. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. That's going on out here too. I'm sorry. But it happens. Send me a link. Hold up, George. Because I wasn't even gonna be on here for a long time. I think me and O'Shea was trying to do something. Hold up, George. Hold up, fam. Okay. This the lead singer of the Temptations is in this piece. Wait, what the hell? Okay. Let's see. What the hell? Well, when I put something in the chat, they just don't want to do it, huh? It's because I'm black. There we go. I'll put it in the chat, George. You know, there we go, fam. But that's part of the thing. You know, and everybody got options, right? When you're 35 and up, you got options. You know, got a divorce, lost 70 pounds, and then got to go. See? And look, tell her again. And 9 times that was in Texas, Erica. I just want to know, am I right? Am I wrong? She's in Texas? She was in Texas? I just got to know. Because I'm betting she was. It is what it is. Bishop George. There you go. Wait. There we go. What up, George?
Hey, I had to jump on real quick, man, because I always talk about this topic. I got I did a video on this. It's called "It's Time to Tell the Youth the Truth." because I'm tired of people our age being liars. Man, we was hoeing way more than the young generation today. Like we gotta cut this nonsense out. Man, listen, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm just gonna say it. When we was growing up back in the day, first of all, the game was different. I mean, we talking drug era, so we had more access to things than this generation do. A lot of us was 18 years old and $100,000 and $200,000 homes, cars. We was more sophisticated. It was a different era. The girls, I'm not saying every last black woman in the community, but in that street life, the girls was hoes and the dudes was hoes. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
We would go down. We would go down to Memorial Day weekend, go to Miami, Essence Fest. We be in the Bahamas. Man, them girls was going down there, man. You know, doing some strange things for some change. That's what was going on. That was the culture. That was the era. But we get older now, saved, sanctified, and delivered. And we now all of a sudden, all of us, not the dudes too. A lot of us had a bunch of women, but we went to jail, died. It was what it was, man. Listen, if you 45, your ass was dancing to the tip drill. If you 50 or a little past 50, you was when Don't Stop Get It came on, you was shaking your ass. That's what was going on. Let's keep it up.
I was wondering.
We can hear you, Dana.
Okay, I had the YouTube on. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, you 35 and up. We on. Let's just be honest. We on some shit. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
the hookup culture is on some shit, but it's more direct. I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying the younger generation, 35 and under, mainly the ones in their 20s and younger, they have like no sexual or gender identity. Like they use that sexual fluid stuff to where 35 and up is either man or woman. So that's what I'm just saying. So if you have an older woman and she chooses to be with a woman and she been with a man all her life, that's her business, as opposed to some 20-year-old who, from the time she started having sex, her first sexual experience may be with a girl and end up flopping to a boy. And then she's saying, well, I'm not a girl or a boy. They're very confused nowadays.
I think the same thing they doing now they was doing back then. It was just more. The difference is it's being promoted to society to normalize it now. Back in the day, it was everything you see now was going on, but it was just behind the scenes. Like you know, they wasn't out in the forefront. What they did was their business in their corner. But
which means doesn't that so right? So if it's not being promoted and if it's not forcing it down your throat or forcing you to choose, usually you come from a household where you knew eventually when you're older you're gonna have to choose a side. Whereas today they don't have to choose a side. They're getting surgery to not have a vagina or to not have boobs. Like they're just not identifying with no gender. Like let's just say people were swapping from girl to boy, but they didn't say, well, I don't have a gender. I don't identify binary or some mess like that. They didn't have all those different labels.
I agree with that, but that's to me, that's an agenda that's being put on by the elite dominant society. When it came to hookup culture, I think that's a different argument. What we see playing out now is something like when you read the manifesto for Michael Swift, everything that they said in that homosexual manifesto of 87, you see being played out now, but it was going on back then. But like you said, it was just behind the raps, but it was in the clubs. It was everywhere.
But don't you think because of it being that it's promoted now that the younger people are confused and that causes baggage? Because that's what me and L.A.R was kind of going back. I was saying younger people have more baggage now than some people who are 40 up.
I don't know if they're confused. I'll say this, Dana. I don't think that they're confused. I just think that now they can come out and just be who they are. Because I believe they always was who they were. They just was doing it. Because listen, they was at the barbecues. They was our family members. They was right in the house with us. We seen them. They was there. Now they could just come out. They could take the mask off now. But it was always there. So
okay.
I don't know. I don't think it was always
okay. Let me say this, like, because when I was a kid, it was in the 80s, and what I do remember about the 80s that we like to skip over is all of the androgyny.
Yes. I was gonna go there, but you beat me to it because I was ready to go to the Prince. The 70s. That's the 70s, late 70s era.
Late 70s, but it was in the early 80s because I remember when it was turning over. maybe about close to mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a kid. But I remember, you know, I call it the Studio 54 era. Mm-hmm. When you had the dudes dressing up, not just with the makeup and the hair, because the hair and the makeup didn't stop until the hair and the makeup didn't stop really until the late 80s. Mm-hmm. You know. But the other thing about it was the guys, the same way we talk about people in skinny jeans, it was guys wearing tights like that.
And moccasins and shit. And
you know, and it was girls doing the same type of stuff.
What guys were wearing tights? They were gay.
But what we're trying to say is that if you go to the disco era and you look at what was being promoted out to society at that time, they was what you see being promoted now, they was pushing that liberal all is free, I can be what I want to be in the music. They was putting in the music, the Rick James, the Shalimars, even People Bryson with his
sexually free, meaning if I want to have sex, yeah, but if you were gay, you were gay. And you had people who were transgender, which was not really spoke about a lot back then the way it is now. But you're talking about LGBTQ, they have all of these different names. They're calling heterosexual, cis, binary, non-binary. They have all these different labels. And when you have all these different labels, which they did not have back in the 80s or 90s, you are confusing the young people and they feel as though, oh, I don't have to be this, I could be that. You know what I'm saying? And it's taken away from nature, from science. So they're trying to create their own species, basically.
What I'm saying is that's a different argument.
No, I think what I'm saying is it was a lot of things going on back in the day, yes, but you were if gayness was always existed, so you were either gay or you were either straight or you were trans, and they were probably less than what they are now in population, and that was it.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying is, as far as the agenda now, I agree. But what I was saying was, as far as in with the topic of the hookup culture, those are two different arguments. Because if we talk about the agenda, then we have to go into a whole bunch of other stuff. But as far as the hookup culture, all I'm saying is that was always there, even when we was growing up. It just wasn't out. It was just wasn't.
I see a lot of young people now. Yeah, a lot of young people under 30 are committing suicide at a fast rate that is catching up to older people. That is a problem. So that's when I go back to saying that younger people have a lot of baggage now compared for my generation. You know,
well, it's not.
No, that is true. The suicide rate is, especially in teenagers, is escalating yearly now. It's very high.
The suicide rate escalates, but I will say this, and just in my opinion about it, I think the parenting got softer and the kids got softer, and they couldn't handle adversity as much now. Because, you know, being confused, you didn't kill yourself because you was confused back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a lot of stuff happen that was harder on people back in the day that the same people who are offing themselves now wouldn't be offering themselves for. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm getting teased, I gotta die. No, that no.
They soften the society up, right?
You know, so that's the issue. But let me back up a little bit for Dana. What I mean about the 35 and up, I do understand. You remember the period when they were talking about guys were on the down low?
They still are.
Okay. So there are people who are 35 and up who, how can I put this? They're on the up high. And sometimes they flopping back and forth, but they on the up high.
What do you mean on the up high?
They ain't on the down low. They on the up high.
Meaning they're out there. They're out the closet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but sometimes they're not out all the time. Like I see people who, like what you talk about with people being confused, that's because people keep flip-flopping from one to another. You confusing people.
Yeah, I mean, that's simple flip-flop. I'm not talking about that confusion. I'm talking about the other gender confusing. Like,
okay, what I'm talking about is Jason Collins.
Who's Jason Collins?
Basketball player.
What happened with him?
He was gay. He came out as gay.
Oh, him, that one.
Yeah, but he was engaged for 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a woman, to a beard.
Hey, but listen. I want to get back.
I'm not bad.
I want to get back to this hookup culture, man. We talk about these old heads and what they was doing. It's a lot of young people in the chat. I want to let them know I want to hurt some feelings. I want to let y'all know, especially if you 30 and younger, a lot of y'all moms was at the pool with with a lot of them old heads in Cancun back in the 90s. Getting it in. She got
Dana, you laughing?
I never went to Cancun back in the 90s. Sorry.
If they wasn't in Cancun, they was in Miami. I'm gonna tell you where they was at.
Miami or Freaknik, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna tell you where they was at. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all because I know a lot of us like to judge y'all and talk trash. But you know, y'all got the Nicki Minaj, but we had the Lil Kim, and she told girls to take it into you know what. They was in the car doing it. Yes, they was down Virginia Beach doing it. They was down South Bike Weekend doing it. All kind. Listen,
Long Beach and Long Island.
Yeah, you wonder why you don't know your dad because your mom was weekend coochie, and she knew that man had a dude, but he was getting a couple of hours. I'm just, can we be honest?
Locked up.
Can we be honest? See what I like to do when I'm really breaking this stuff down to the youth on my channel. I deal with PTSD in the Black community. I deal with molestation, and I got a series like let's tell the youth the truth. I believe when we tell the youth the truth, they have a frame of reference of certain things that they shouldn't indulge in because we lie to our children about how things are so fucked up. And then we either blame it on the mom or blame it on the dad. We don't tell them about the era that we came up in and what they was born into. We was doing a lot of fucked up shit.
Mardi Gras, look at it. He put that at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, they was getting it in. Listen, what I don't think the youth don't understand during that drug era was so much money, man, and the girls was hustlers just like the dudes. So it was a lot of fucking going on. A lot of babies being made, a lot of babies not being taken care of.
I just look, the reason I'm doing this one is because, to be perfectly honest, I want people to understand when you're in your 20s and 30s, like, oh, it's not, it's gonna be different for me. I said the same shit. Okay. And we out here on some fuckery, all right? I'm gonna just be honest with you. and it ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? After I get off here, I'm gonna hit Dana up in her DM. She gonna come through. She gonna dump her Asian man.
He's so
Asian man.
I don't have no Asian man. He's just teasing. What the hell? But I could date one. Ain't nothing wrong with dating an Asian.
Man, we ain't dating no Asians over here.
Dana out here dating hung low. She ain't playing with your
one hung low.
Yeah.
You gotta be black.
That Asian gonna have a whole lot of money. I ain't dating no broke Asian.
But okay, like let me just put this out here, just to say this. How many of us know people who are 35 and up who are lying to people like they want to be committed so they could get just some sex and benefits?
A lot of them.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot.
That's why I'm saying it's the hookup culture, because people say they want to be together, but let's be honest. I just want to be together tonight. Yeah, I want us to be together tonight, but tomorrow I don't really like you like that.
Well, it was like that back in the day, though. You could do that back in the day. I mean, pretty much it was back in. I'm trying to find the words. Back in the day, like you could basically pretty much you go over, drop a couple dollars on the dresser. I mean, there was a saying that a man got a want, a woman always got a need. You meet that need, man. What y'all do is between y'all. That's y'all business. That
Hold up.
Back in the day.
Dana. I need you right now. Not like that, but like that. Dana, how many women maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older than you, who would say the men in their group ain't satisfying them?
She might have her phone. She might be on mute.
Yeah, she is on mute. Dana, unmute your
I'm back. I had to do something to open the door. Go ahead.
I said, how many women around your age group say that the men in their age group ain't satisfying them?
Not a lot.
Not a lot?
No. I mean, maybe that says something about me. I don't have a lot of female friends, but just say women that I know. Yeah, I would say women that I know, not a lot, because they do tend to date their age or older because of what they're looking for.
Okay.
But see, L.A.R. But a lot of women now, especially nowadays, don't tell their business to other women. Women got a Rolodex. They do what they do. Like a woman always got a woman know who gonna pass the cash off. They know who they can spend time with. Like they already know the type, especially when she a seasoned veteran. She already know like the different types of dudes, you know, who gonna do what and who ain't gonna do this. So what I'm saying, when I was growing up, it was easier. It was easier to get with, especially if you was getting a couple of hours. And if you was on, like I was always told by the big homies, just be honest to a chick. Either she gonna say yeah or no. So back then, like I said, back then it was easier to hook up with a chick and get what you want. That's why nowadays they say, well, dudes my age and older simps, because we gave women stuff. We gave women stuff. My thing was the difference. I learned from my uncle the difference between me and you was you on the phone with I was with him last night. So we broke a chick off and let her.
Yes, I do. Yes. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Yeah. So yes, I did.
Yeah, we broke chicks off. We
still do.
Yeah, we do, and have no problem with it. I believe that a woman should be happy when she's in your presence because you get more out of her than her being worried about how she done got with you. Y'all done did something. She's worried about how she gonna pay her electric bill. Well, when you on the phone with her, what you think gonna happen when she see me call? She gonna tell you I'm gonna call you back, nigga. She ain't gonna tell you.
Snuggles just helped me out with my ode to the fuckery right here with that statement.
A real man would stand by his wife, even if she's pregnant by another man. Boy, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you,
That's trolling, man. in my day, that could have got her and that man killed.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't happening. Now I can tell you one thing.
She lied.
If you did have a dude, because a lot of y'all grew up in the house that your stepfather brought for your mom. Because we took care of women like that. Those cars was bought, homes. Dudes had more than one family. So if she got pregnant by some other dude, man, please, and he taking care of her, dude getting free work.
But let me add to that part of the culture. You had those guys teaching the young men that's how they should be, but they couldn't provide like them old men know. So now you got guys who got the same type of action, but they don't have the same type of game to put it up. They can't provide for multiple families. They just want to do that shit.
What happened, L.A.R.? The money came from the drug dealer, the streets. And when most of those guys went to prison or died, you had a whole group of children that came up without those fathers to really guide them and teach them. Because even though those guys was in the street getting money, a lot of them still came from some type of family where we understood that we was still supposed to take care of our women. We might have been doing wrong, but we still knew to take care of our women. You wasn't known as a simp for taking care of you. We might have had one or two women, but when they got wiped off the street, the sons coming up behind them had nobody to teach them that. So all they was just doing was slinging dick.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it was a difference.
Guess what?
A lot of those kids grew up in those homes that the step pop brought before he went to prison.
Right.
But
and that's why I don't like when a lot of people want to sit up here and say single mother, but you understand, depending on how old she is and what generation, a lot of dudes in the 80s and 90s got locked up or got killed, like in big numbers. Yep. So it was a lot of men went missing, quote unquote, because missing meaning they were incarcerated for a long time.
Yeah. And the thought process of taking care of a family, because even the working black man, he might have had a wife in a side joint, a side chick that he took care of, and everybody thought that he was their dad. Like the men back then had the thought process of whole. So I think the hookup culture was a little. You know what though? I'll say this, and I might be wrong. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you didn't have like this woman's liberation time back then. The women for the most part was still dependent upon a man. So a man was able to take on certain families or go to a woman and say, listen, you need this? All right, well, I need this, and I'll take care of all of that. Don't worry about that. Let me just, do my thing. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it was better that way back then because you had more intact structure than what you got now, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just the way I see it. I think it was more men around, and boys had more access to manly figures back then. I'm not saying it was perfect, but it's better than what it is now.
I heard, even though I do think Polite could be like, Brother Polite is somewhat of a fraud, but he is very smart. He was on Tanetta show and he was like, scientifically, it's proven that men today
Yeah.
It has less testosterone than men of 20 or 30 years ago. So throughout the decades, the men level of testosterone is decreasing, which is why you see a lot of feminine or sensitive men now. So even in my generation, it was less than my father's, but not as little as it is now. So that's something to think about, you know.
I'm not really sold on that part of it for one reason.
Well, it's true.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying for a particular reason.
Mhm.
Is because guys back in the day were more upfront and honest with their words. But the part of testosterone, as far as physicality, it looks like people in this era have way more testosterone than guys back in the day.
No. Scientific.
No.
No.
I'm just saying about.
It's more emotionalism today.
Yeah, it was like okay. Now y'all know good and hell. Okay, what years we talking about when we say the guys have more testosterone?
80s,
Who?
80s, 90s,
Okay.
masculine era.
80s and 90s. Okay, I'm thinking about 70s and 60s too. Okay,
No,
my
but
bad.
those men back then, their testosterone, even in the 50s and 60s, he did give numbers, but their levels was at extreme high as opposed to 80s and 90s. But then now today in the 2000s, it's like 250 and below when it should be in the 500s.
It's because it's the
food.
And all
it's the food, it's the environment, it's technology, it's a lot of environmental factors that's playing a part.
And
So
the way boys are being raised.
Huh?
And the way boys are being raised.
Well, also,
Right.
I mean, I'm guessing when Polite was talking about it, he was talking about black men, right?
Yeah. We were talking about black people.
Well, I would assume that the rates for the other groups of men were lower than ours back then too.
Yeah.
And because they didn't have to deal with as much
black
stress.
or white, he just said men, all men. So
okay.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about that before. So like, that's it's not new in the context of what he was saying, but in the context of conversation, he was talking about black boys. But we've argued that those things before. And actually on 125th Street in New York, we've argued about that because I was on the other side of the argument at one time until I seen the data.
See, I'm gonna look into that because to me, I can see the people being softer, but they just remind me of the people in the 80s, 70s, and 60s. Because I grew up listening to a lot of music, so I'm like, okay, y'all looking like them LTD album covers out here. That's y'all look Sky and Earth, Wind and Fire. Y'all dressing like Isaac Hayes back in '76 and shit. So I'm like,
the difference is those dudes back in the day still knock your head off. These dudes nowadays,
right?
Well,
and it was no bullying, anti-bullying policy. You had to have some thick ass skin to sing and dress the way the guys were back then, but the women loved it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compare, even if they dress like that. Even if you talk about Prince, wearing heels. He was wearing heels, getting mad pussy. Like, come on. Nobody wasn't questioning his sexuality because he always had a bad bitch.
And these dudes that sit around nowadays with a camera phone and watch a police beat their homie up. Where you go back in the 80s, the cops wasn't coming in Richard Island projects and putting their hands on nobody. They came through with the cavalry, not one cop car. Because the energy, and as men, it was just different. It was a different world. The world that I knew when I was a kid growing up, and then the world I see now is a totally different world. Like, it's just totally different. And I explained that to my oldest son. I'm like, you can't even imagine. Like, remember we grew up without no cell phones and computers and laptops. All you had was yours. And so I think the friendships, the camaraderie amongst people was stronger. The everything was different. And when you change that, it changed the cycle. It changes. It's like it has a psychological effect on you too, and that affects the body. Everything. We live in a different world.
Let me ask something real quick, Dana. So, would you say that the men that you come across are less masculine than you remember, say 5, 10, 20 years ago?
Well, the men, and I'm sorry if you hear drill in the background, I have somebody maintenance is here, but the men, it depends because you're talking about if it's my generation older, I don't have an issue with their masculinity. Now in the dating scene, the way they behave as a man is something separate as how they behave in the dating scene. But what I noticed with younger guys, let's say 40 and under, or 35 and under, it's like they're delicate. Like you have to be careful what you say or how you say it. That's what I find. To whereas guys my age,
Go watch TV in my room.
I don't have a, I could, I talk polite to them, but I don't have to worry about them easily getting offended,
Right.
unless they have some other mental traumatic stuff going on. But in general, it is a difference, and I'm not including the dating. But if you want to talk about dating, I do think men 45 and up play more games than the younger ones.
It depends. It depends.
Nowadays.
Let me say this, because I see Solo TV. I know he used to going back and forth with Taz, but for some reason he think he gonna troll me.
That's my guy. He like trolling. Don't take it.
Well, I want to answer his question because he ain't old enough to have this conversation with me. He said, y'all niggas was chasing coochie, George. Stop it. Our generation was chasing college, old man. Let me explain something to you.
Boy, bye.
It was never a generation when black people wasn't chasing college. In my generation, you had the drug dealer, the blue collar working person, which was the majority, that went to work every day, because the community wasn't just full of drug dealers. And you had this inside the household. You might have had a brother that was in college, one brother that was selling dope, a sister that was in school, and another brother that was just doing his thing. So we was always chasing college, youngster. Like, you got to recognize the stuff. Y'all got to qualify the things y'all say out your mouth. Like, colleges didn't just start when you guys went. People was going to college. Did you see School Days? Did you see Wildcats? The movie
Different World.
Yeah, Different World. Like, listen, people was in school back. Listen, do you know the parties, the 90s parties in Delaware State?
Especially black college was at the highest of its enrollment in the 90s.
Yes. What are you talking about? We was chasing money back in the day. Not just coochie, money. Purse first, ass last, homie.
Let me just also add this, and that's why you saw a lot of teenage pregnancies at an all-time high, especially in the 90s, because so many young guys, young men were just being regular corner boys, was making money, right? So a lot of them had quote unquote families. I know 16, 17-year-olds, girls I went to high school with, they had boyfriends. She moved out the house, had her apartment, they had a baby, they had a family. So I saw a lot of that growing up. A lot of young people taking care of their woman and their family. And then eventually they got locked up, or got killed.
But that's why I was saying, Dana, we had a more we still had an idea of even though a lot of people was doing wrong, or even if you was doing right, it still was an idea. Okay, I got this woman pregnant, I got to take care of her, and that was the last remnants of it, I think, Dana, in the 90s.
Right.
Like, I got this girl, this is my woman, I got her pregnant, this is my woman. And because people look at you like you crazy if you wasn't. Like, damn.
Wait. You said the 90s, right?
Yeah, going into the 90s, early 90s.
So the reason why I'm saying that is because I was a teenager in part of the 90s. Like, I started being a teenager like 90-something shit, 94, some shit like that.
You got Kevin Samuels in the house.
Yeah, that's why I kept putting the link in. If Uncle Kev won't come, you always welcome, fam. I am not, you should know, I'm not, but the reason why I said it is because when I say the hookup culture now, this is the remnants of that. Like, everybody is a free for all at a certain point. I remember being young when Freaknik was going out. I remember being young when people were still going to Daytona and going to Virginia. I remember, you know what I'm saying? No, you keep talking about Tip Drill. I know where that was at. I knew about the video before you knew it came out.
Good. I wish
you know what I'm saying? There. I know who house that is or was. You know what I'm saying? I knew about that whole little incident. But the reason I'm saying this is because you got guys who came up under that and was like, oh, yeah, I could just do it. I could just be a player. That's all I got to do. Mm-hmm. So now, just like I know old school guys who will be my grandfather's age, they were always saying, treat women like cars. You got 4 and a spare.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So that mentality was always there, but it's now when people are hooking up, there comes a certain age where you like, look, I can't run game on you no more, really. I'm gonna just look stupid. So am I here for sex, or am I here for, money? What am I here for? Because when I get off this live, I'm jumping in this hookup culture tonight. I got things to do.
What you doing tonight?
But
Dana, stop being nosy.
You said it.
but you know what though, L.A.R. This generation don't know how to. I heard who came on there and said that a lot of this young generation don't know how to articulate themselves to women, and women don't know how to receive words from men today. Like I remember back in the day where a woman was approachable. Like I could be in my car and drive up on a woman and say something, and you can actually have conversation with each other to get to the point of what you want. Nowadays, you got to basically lie. You got to be something that you ain't in order, and that's acceptable. Like the truth, nobody wants the truth no more.
Well, you know what? Here's. I remember this about the 80s and the 90s and in the 80s more so now. When you listen to 80s music, they made fuckery sound so good. See, nobody really listened to the lyrics until you go back. You'd be like, "Damn, they're talking about cheating."
Yeah.
Wait, they talking about sneaking off on their husband or wife with a brand new person?
What was that? Is that Patricia Rush something? Love Come Down? For so long, Patricia I did not know what she was talking about until maybe 10 years ago. Love Come Down. Boy, you make my love come down. Like they're talking about her pussy getting wet.
Yeah.
I didn't know that for so long.
That's what
you see how they talk about it?
What about Dad's Band? Let It Whip.
Really? I see. Yeah, I had no clue, but it's the way they presented it. So
that's like
it was presented with love, and it had a message to it.
Right, but I was listening to Pebbles and Babyface. I forgot the name of that song, but it was a song about you falling in love with somebody.
Happen.
Huh?
Love make things happen.
Yeah, it's that one. I was like, wow. And I like people. I clown with my coworkers. I was like, the first side chick song I heard was Whitney Houston, "Saving All My Love for You." That was the first side chick song I ever heard, but I didn't realize it until
that was a side chick song either. Yeah.
What about Your Love Deserve an Encore? She said your love deserves an encore.
Listen, I was grown when I was like, Billie Jean is about a. Wait a minute, he ain't claiming a baby. I was just moonwalking and shit. I didn't even realize.
Oh, that's what I didn't know that was about that too.
Billie Jean, but the music back in the day, it had a message to it, and the music back in the day told you what was going on. Because you got to remember, music is nothing but a reflection of the society. The society influences the music. The music never influenced you. The music comes from the community that it came from out to the world, because before the music comes out, it's actually happening in the hood. I tell people that all the time. So
what was that song with the two women? The one woman called up. She was like, "Hi, this is Barbara. Yeah, I heard you were seeing my man. Well, I'm gonna let you know I'm not letting you go."
Yeah.
And then she did another song. She got what? Papers on Me. That's the name of it. And then it was another song where the other lady did another song replying to her, but it was so classy, right? So can you imagine that type of scenario, what that song would sound like today? Totally different, with different attitude.
The Boy Is Mine. Remember that?
Right.
What about the song Prince wrote for the girl, Not Meeting in the Ladies' Room, the other one, when she say, get it
Nikki?
up. No, get it up. I got water on the brain, something. When she say tonight, I can't control it. I need what's the name of that song?
Was that a Prince song or one of his groups?
The girl,
he wrote it. I know. I can't think of
Vanity Sticks tonight. I just want to.
Yeah, that song.
Okay, that one.
Nasty Girl. That's all right.
Hey, listen, when that song come on now, you be like, it's going down. That song come on today. Oh, here's popping Viagra.
Because I ain't gonna lie, like I'm a big Bobby Womack fan, but I never really listened to I Wish You Didn't Trust Me So Much. I never listened to that song. And then I was like, damn. And I thought about the Sam Cooke thing. I was like, they're looking at you sideways when this one came up.
When you grew up in the South, I don't know if you ever heard of a man named Stan Mosley. The old heads used to always play this in the bar when I used to be with my pop back in the day. Your wife is my woman.
Shit.
He called up and the dude answered the phone. He said, I ain't trying to argue with you, man. We can work something out. We just got to share. That's what he said in the call. Well, go listen to Stan. Go type in Stan Mosley. For everybody listening, Stan Mosley. Your wife is my woman. Man, that's one of the funniest songs ever, man. But no, just think that back in the day, but I'm gonna tell you specifically what it is. Back in the day, you didn't have this woman's liberation stuff where a woman was still dependent upon a man. So a man could be more straight up in what he wanted. I think a man had to lie less in order to get the things that he want. And I think, in my opinion, and people may pull out data and prove me wrong, but I'm from the eye test. I think that women got more out of the man back then than what she do now, for a lot of different reasons. But one of them is women today can go out and do everything now, and she don't really need a man for nothing but dick, because she got all her own shit. But it actually is a detriment to I guess the foundation of what we're supposed to be built on, as if you look at things 30 years ago as opposed to now. And that's my vision, the way I view it.
I mean,
I agree to that. I agree with that. I just think there are a lot of things now women could obtain that she couldn't before.
Right.
But a man is still needed in a lot of ways. But a lot of men now today, but like, well, if she could do it, she could do it. And it's like, well, it's not about if she could do it. Why don't you just do it to keep the flow of a man's role, intact. So, which puts pressure on that woman, which would make that woman keep her role intact. You see what I'm saying? So
I agree with that, Dana, but I think the problem is, by nature, men, especially ones that's raised by their fathers that know their role, a man has to feel needed and wanted in vital areas. And when a woman has accomplished things and he's not needed in those areas, he has no purpose. And she may not even do it on purpose. But if a man doesn't have a purpose-driven life when it comes to his family and his children, then that relationship is dead, pretty much dead. So it's kind of like a sacrifice. Like, a lot of women achieved a lot of things, but it was we don't have the balance anymore. And I can't find the right words to put on it, but I know what I'm seeing as opposed to what I saw as a kid.
Let me try. I might be wrong, but let me try. There is no working relationship between men and women in society, not just the household. So there used to be things that men used to do for women and women used to do for men. And those very things nowadays are what you're not going to do for a man and what you're not going to do for a woman. So now you don't necessarily need each other, because what winds up happening is, guess what? I got everything I got money, so money can replace you.
Right.
I got multiple people, so something can replace you. I got things that I want to do that's in society. So I could go traveling, I can go shopping, I could go to restaurants. I got something to replace the need of you. And that goes for men and women.
Because you know what? I agree with what you said, but I think it goes more like this. Like, I have this, I have money, I could travel, I could do this, I have that, I could replace you if you don't do what I want you to do. I do find that in women's attitude now. And I do find that, and men kind of always had that, but it's like, so when the women got more freedom and the men like, oh, you don't want to do what, I feel as though you should do because you got this, it does bring a friction. But a lot of women attitude now is, well, I could buy this too. I don't need you to pay my bills because I have enough money to do it too. So if, I want you to do what I want you to do. Mm-hmm. Basically. And if you don't do what I want you to do, then I could go and do it myself and find somebody else, because I have all these financial freedom.
And I think that's the problem, because by nature, something that you said when you said by nature, a woman wasn't built to be that way. That because she's a receiver. She has a womb, she gives life to what's given to her, and she preserves. So a woman by nature has to have that type of hold on a second. That type.
You muted yourself.
All right, yeah, my mic wasn't up. Yeah, a woman has to have that type of protection from a man, and a man by nature, if you look at the nature of a man when he's raised properly, he has to feel needed or feel like he's protecting something, protecting his nest. When we lose our roles despite us accomplishing certain things, the relationship is done. And I don't have, in 2019, I don't have all the words or the right words as to how we can fix it. But I know that I'm trying to figure out, well, how can we have the woman today outside of the homely role where she's achieving, but still letting the man play a role and the man understanding what his role is? That's the challenging part. That's what the challenging part is, because a woman is not supposed to by nature achieve and then say, hey, if you can't do this, then I don't want you. That's not the way she's built. but the elite society has created this shit. And then the man, a lot of times I watch men throw their hands up and just walk away. I'm like, dude, you can't walk away from your family. I can't take it. What's the purpose? I'm only here. You know how many times I've heard dudes say, I'm only here for, she only used me for dick. She don't need me for nothing. Or if he loses his job and now he don't, he has to take her credit card and go to the gas station. Men that's raised by men aren't wired to do that. So it's a hard society that we living in, and I don't know. So, and I try to be careful because I don't want to bash women or men either way. I just look at it like it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Right, because I mean, this society, especially with technology, roles are changing because lifestyles are changing because everything is so expensive. Depending on where you live at, both people have to work. So it is finding, and Faith said it's about finding a balance. So you have to find a balance now. So, and even if men or women are old fashioned, you still have to kind of like change your way of thinking, right? But it's just that now society or other organizations or whatever have an agenda to give particularly women, particularly Black women, too many options to not have the Black man there.
Well, let me try this. Let me add something to this. When I think about it, I don't think the roles change. I think the skill sets changed.
Okay.
Because men are still going to be men and women are still going to be women, but people have different skill sets now. Not necessarily now. People get paid more for different skill sets now. Because if you can work with your hands, that's a skill set. But if you can work with your mind, that's also a skill set. But now we put more emphasis on working with your mind than we do your hands. So when you think of men, historically, you think of people who are hands-on. So if I don't need your hands per se, now I'm in that role. But that's really not true, because when we look at society, at some point, you're going to need to be hands-on to maintain all of this stuff.
Well, let me ask both of y'all then, right? When I came home, you know, I was in the street at one time getting money, you know, and when I came home, I was going through different things, trying to get properties back from the government, just going through all kinds of stuff. And I didn't have, I still had the street fame, but I didn't have the money that I had before I went in. And I remember, you know, getting with my wife and us getting married. And for like a whole year and a half, I damn near lived off my wife. That killed me. Because here I am, wasn't raised by my mom. I was raised in the house with my father, watching him go to work every day. And I always, in a relationship, I always did for the girls that I was with. I never really took money from a woman. My father didn't raise me that way. So it kind of like killed me to, if we going to dinner and she pull out and she paid for these different things. But I'm going to tell you what I learned. Because we doing fine now. I switched, got myself together, but it was a process. But I had to learn how to. I think we learned how to communicate, because she wasn't used to taking care of a man either. She was raised by her parents and her dad was at the forefront. So it was a very challenging time. But I think we learned how to communicate to the point where her grandmother said something to both of us. She said, Dana, she said, when y'all marry, y'all evenly yoked. So if you got the money, then you hold the family down. If he got the money, you hold it down. It's not one way or the other. So, you know, but we was always taught that the man is supposed to do this. So she had expectations of me doing this, but I wasn't in a position to do it. I couldn't, and it was killing me.
Yeah, and I think you're right, but a man is not Superman. So a man is supposed to take care of the family, supposed to take care of the home. But what happens if something happened to that man? A woman still has to be able to know how to make money and get money and work. And women know how to do that now, right? But and then too, I think your situation, you know, is a damn unicorn now, but I really appreciate, you know, what you and your wife have been able to do, and it is communication. You had to swallow your pride as a man and allow her to step in and help, not take your role, but to actually help. You know what I'm saying? So you had to step back and allow a change of the roles, but that didn't make you less of a man in the household. And she had to change her role, as in, okay, I need to open up and support him and me because he's worth it, and the payoff would be, you know, more fulfilling down the line.
But
let me say something quick, George. No big deal. I started thinking about what you just said because I had some friends. I took her and her girlfriend out to dinner over the weekend. She came in town, a friend of mine. But when I know women who are younger than me, every time I go out or go with them somewhere or I take them somewhere, they're always reaching in their purse. And I realize that's what they're accustomed to. The ones that have issues that go on, that have boyfriends, they're always accustomed to calling somebody other than their boyfriend to help them. And I'm like,
I'm calling a boyfriend. I'm calling a dude. I'm screwing. I'm the maintenance man. I'm calling all the. I need some bread. I'm not calling no chick first.
But you from a different.
No. I'm not saying you calling a chick first, but I'm saying when I chill with them, I realize they have it like this idea of I don't need a man per se, or they was taught that. Part of it crippled them.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to fall back for one, and it's killing them because they're working themselves dead. Because a lot of the women I know who are younger than me, few of them have homes and a lot of them have apartments, and half of those women have roommates. You get them? So so women need that communal thing whether they like it or not. They might not want a man, but they need, if there's a girlfriend, they need their group of girlfriends. You get what I'm saying? And to me, that helps people. Like, if I want to be a straight womanizer, it helps me in this market.
Well, I think because women today aren't used to getting anything from men. A lot of these dudes, that they don't have nothing to give a woman.
Or let me ask you this, George. Do you think a lot of women, not only are they not used to it, is it because they weren't taught to, do you think they're taught to just give it away for quote unquote free? They don't know, they weren't taught to expect something, that you're not supposed to just give it or for you to give. You see what I'm saying? So
I was ready to go there. It's on both sides. Most guys nowadays, not because a lot of those men that was holding families down are not around. Guys are just taught to go get it for itself. These girls are just taught to go get it for itself. There is no more working together or expectations within each other. So it's just like me. That's why I use myself, because I'm older. Me and my wife been married 13 years. But the thing about it was, Dana, when I got with my wife and me coming home, this is the crazy part, Dana. She never reaped the benefits of me getting money in the street because I met her afterwards. All the other girls before that. So it was for me. I'm telling you, I think what saved us was she had her grandparents, and her grandparents used to sit us down after we got married, and her grandparents said some stuff to her that even at that time I didn't understand, because her grandmother was like, listen, if you got the money, then you got to take care of your husband and vice versa. And she said to her, what happened if your husband get back on his feet and you get sick or lose your job? Is he supposed to treat you the way you treat him?
Right.
And she explained to us what marriage was. But how many young people even got elders like that to explain to them what marriage was? Because in my mind, I was driven on, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm not taking nothing from you. And we would argue about, I might not pay the bill because I didn't have the money at the time. And I told her I paid it though, because I didn't want to take it from her. I didn't know how to take money from no woman. I didn't even know how to, and then you know what else, Dana, is? A lot of men like us, we're so proud, we don't know how to communicate. Don't worry about it, baby. I'm going to fix it.
Now, but you said a lot of women, when you were making money, benefited from that. But what is it that your wife is benefiting more, that's more important than the women who you bought jewelry or whatever, spent money on when you were back in the street? Like, I think she still won the prize. Like, explain that prize of it.
Yeah, she got a better me. She got a better me. When I went in prison a nigga and came out a black man because of a man named Zachary Ricketts. So when I came out, she got a different type of man. I had a different vision. So now when I was fighting with the government to get my properties back and everything, I had a whole vision for what I was doing, where I could build something to stand on, where they can't take it from me, as opposed to when I might have had her and 15 other women. So it's got a different version.
She got a man, she got a committed man, she has a loving husband, she has a friend, she has a provider. She has everything that majority of women want, even when they say they don't want it.
Yeah,
hold on. Let me ask this question then. How many people are actually getting black men and black women as adults?
What do you mean?
Say it one more time, L.A.R.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me better now?
I understand what the
I said, how many of us are actually getting black men and black women as adults?
You mean dating?
Yeah,
No.
like
go ahead.
when you said you came out a better person.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. You're basically saying that these people are grown, but then these people have grown bodies, but they're not adults. They still like children.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I always say in my videos, L.A.R. A lot of us walking around are children disguised as grown-ups.
Right. There's a lot of males and not men. Like, every male isn't a man. Yeah. Just because you were born with a penis, that don't mean you're a man. And every female is not a woman. So
that this is part of what's up, AM? Like, and thanks, MOT.
MOT in the house.
Yeah, this is one of the issues that I kind of talk about with this type of topic. Is a lot of us want to say we're grown enough to do fuck shit.
Yeah,
but when it's time to be grown and do something that an adult does, all of a sudden that child come out. So when it comes to people nowadays, and when we're dealing with each other, if somebody's really real with you, 9 times out of 10, I've seen people run from that.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. I've witnessed that myself with men. Like I think people need to just start stating their intentions. And when you state your intentions, this is on something on a serious level or grown person level, a lot of people do run away from it. And that's a good vetting process. Stop playing games and just state your intentions.
I'm gonna say something that's controversial. I'm gonna throw out the street people. I'm gonna throw out the so-called thug and the baby mama with 5 kids. I'm gonna set them to the side. I ain't talking about them. So I want everybody in the chat room to take them out your head for a minute. We just want to talk about the blue collar person, the bus driver, the school teacher, the plumber, the electrician, the white collar worker. I'm gonna say this, and me being married 13 years and being in different circles, because of what I do, what I've noticed is a lot of black people, even black people that so-called got their stuff together, they don't flourish in relationships because most people don't want to sacrifice and be willing to do the work. Like, it's easy to talk about the girl with the 5 baby moms and the Pookies and Ray Rays, but when I'm looking at these educated black people, man, listen, being in a relationship takes sacrifice. It takes commitment. And most people just don't want to sacrifice and be committed. Like, you bringing your baggage and I'm bringing my baggage, and we got to combine that. We got to put some stuff down where we can carry each other's weight. People don't want to do that shit. But we get on here and complain. Like, it's women out here, right? It's black women out here that should be wiped up by some of these so-called brothers that's doing well, but they don't want them girls. I see it all the time. It's black men out here that's doing great. Doing great. You ain't got to worry about them not coming home. You ain't got to worry about them not getting killed in the street. You ain't got to worry about none of that. But she don't want him. He corny. Right. And these are the educated, got stuff going on people. And I see the complaints all the time. When I was still going to church, when I used to see the pastors come in and sit down with some of these people, and I'd be like, man, y'all selfish as hell. Like, y'all want to have all the sexual part of the relationship, but the commitment of sacrifice, and don't nobody want to do that shit. And everybody turn around and bring Keisha with the 5 kids. But I'm talking about the people that got stuff going on. They don't want to get with the girls that's in your lane that you should be with. They don't want that girl. And vice versa. I see it play out all the time, man. All the time. And when I came to YouTube, all I hear is people complain. I'm like, yo, the good girl right there, right in your lane. Oh, she ain't pretty enough. Well, what the fuck? She's the girl that you asking for. That's her right there.
Right. That's why I don't think when people always harp on black women, no, it's black men too. It's equal here because I'm starting to see a lot of women who they have, they're single mothers and they don't have a lot of kids, maybe 1, 2, no more than 2, they're good people and they want a good man. But I know someone, you had a good man, you may have rushed a little bit too quick, but you don't want him. You find out, you pick at all the negative, but not all the positive. See, a lot of women focus on the bag. they don't know, first of all, it's not about the bag, it's about a lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want? If you want a father figure for your kids, there are men out there who are that. But you want, it's sad to say, they still want a nigga.
Yes.
You know, two things about what y'all just said. It brings up two celebrities in my mind since we like celebrity culture. I talked about this recently. Udonis Haslem, he played for the Miami Heat. He said the same thing George said. He said, you know, when LeBron and D Wade, Chris Bosh came here, we knew we could win a championship. But everybody had to sacrifice. But you know what the problem is? When you got to make the sacrifice, it's everybody else that you expect to make it. But when it's you, then you don't take it so well. And like that's why I wholeheartedly agree with George. And the other thing what you were saying, Dana, I remember 50 Cent saying this a long time ago. He said, you know, when I first met Eminem, you know, I met him and they was gonna give me $1 million deal, and he's telling me everything he could do for me. And I had to lean over and say, no. I started telling him things I could do for him, because that's the trade-off that we don't have. You want somebody to do everything for you, but you never say what you gonna bring to the table for them.
Right. And it's like, and you know why I say this? Because I have a son. My son is 21. He's not even thinking about marriage. He don't, you know, which is good. But I just look at it, you know, because I know how females are. Sorry about that, guys. You know, I have to tell him, you know, what is she bringing? She got to bring something. Now, I tell him, you're never going to have to rely on a woman financially. You should be able to take care of a woman and 2 kids and a home before you even have that. But she gonna have to bring something. You don't need her looks. You don't need her pussy and nothing like that. She's gonna have to bring something. And a lot of women don't have anything to bring, but they want a man with the bag. And I'm starting to see that now. And that is a problem. And that's why a lot of men are complaining.
Hey, Dana, you said something. You just said something real important. And I'm glad you said it. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. I get on a lot of women on my channel a lot of times. When I'm going in on the men, a lot of women will be in my chat like, yeah, get him, George. When I'm talking about black male accountability, but the minute I start calling out the women on their shit, they start questioning me, and I gotta explain things. And I'm a little dominant personality. I'm a Leo. Listen, I'm not explaining nothing. You can't come when I'm getting on the brothers. And what you just said was, well, let me just say this part. I tell sisters all the time, be careful how you criticize black men all the time, because you got brothers, you got dads, you got sisters, and be careful how you treat the men you with, because would you want if you out here wilding out and acting crazy and acting unruly, would you want your son to be with a woman like you? So when you said these women be out here acting crazy, it's very rare that you hear a woman actually call out a lot of women's fuckery. Like a woman to cover up for another woman. And I tell women all the time, me being a husband and a father of daughters and sons, no, we got to call it out across the board, because I got a daughter, I got a son, so I call out fuckery on both sides. And I tell black women all the time, you got to call out black women fuckery, because if you cover it up, soon as one of them girls do that to one of your sons, now you want to speak on it. So we got to speak on it both sides. That's why I said you might have this girl, and here you are, you go to work every day, you a working man, or you a highly educated man, and this girl, she don't dress as sassy as the street girl, but you don't want her because she don't wear the tight jeans. But that's the perfect girl for you. Or you don't want him because he just saying this, he don't have the swag, but he got good credit, he got his own house, he got his other stuff going on, but you overlooking that because he don't have that cultural swag that we think we should have, and it's fucking us up, man. It's fucking us up.
Well,
right. And that's why
let me do it real quick, Dan. Let me get on the men real quick. For all you fellas out here, if you're gonna be a player and you wanted to be a player and you enjoy being a player, you got to take the downside of the game too. See, a lot of fellas like you like getting these women and doing these women wrong. There's gonna be karma in the game coming back to you too. There's a lot of old guys who are young players who are now old and lonely and miserable. And see, some guys are bitter because they was a player and now they didn't get chose no more. You know, there's a lot of men who thought pussy was the number one thing on the planet, and they could get that very well. Mm-hmm. But then they became terrible men. You know what I'm saying? And they taught guys, because I know I used to get that teaching when I was younger, how to get a chick, how to play a chick, how to get it all out of her and move on to the next. You know?
Yeah, we was taught that.
But the thing about it is, you don't want that to happen to your daughter. I don't want that to happen to my goddaughters, my little cousins. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to remember what you're putting out into the world, you're gonna get back.
Right. And that's, I do tell my son, like he do not tell me his business, even though I try to be in his business. He's not going to tell me his business voluntarily, even if I ask him. But it's just certain indicators that I do tell him to look out for when vetting and red flags. And well, first of all, he knows that he has to marry and have children with a Black woman, but I did tell him, if you're with a woman and, you're thinking about getting married whenever, ask her, what is her idea of marriage, her thoughts on marriage, and if she says anything about love, or she says she want to get married because of love, dump that bitch. Because you should not be marrying for love. That's the worst reason, is because marriage is a business. So if, again, I look at, because I know women and I see the bullshit that they do, a lot of women marry for their own recourse and their own financial gain. And my thing is, bitch, if you ain't bringing nothing to the table, and if you are a stay-at-home mom, but you've been married for less than 7 years, he ain't paying you no fucking alimony. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I see how women literally calculate shit like that. And it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So I do give my son indicators in the game on how women operate. And they're going to lie on YouTube and everywhere else, about what they do or don't do. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of women are conniving, and their first intentions is about security, and that is fine. But nowadays, especially in my son generation, she's going to have a career, and she's going to have to be independent. You're not coming into that relationship broke. Sorry.
Isn't it? But to a degree, isn't that what women were raised for in the last 20, 30, 40 years? Now you're at a point where you actually got what you asked for.
L.A.R, I just fell out. I'm sorry. I just woke back up because what I'm hearing Dana say, I can't believe it.
No, because my son has a role. And I tell him, when you decide, because first of all, you're the man of the house, whether she makes more than you or not, but you're always going to have more than your woman. You are the man of that home. No, you before you even think about getting married, you're going to have to make enough money to have a house, a wife, and 2 kids, and then some, right? It's just that the woman that he chooses, she's going to have to come with a career. Now, when she have kids and she want to be a permanent stay-at-home mom, that's great. Do that. But I need her to have a mindset of knowing how to get the money for herself. Because as a woman, I do believe women should be financially independent. But you also have to learn your role when you decide to be in a committed relationship with a man. So it's not all about you. Men are not Superman. But I also believe women were not born to be validated by a man either. But I'm not going to have some bitch roll over my son either.
Oh, my God. Oh, I'm about to fall out again. Oh.
No, I know, but see, I'm a woman. I know how women are, but overall in society, women, we are treated badly in society as a whole. So that's why you have a lot of this Me Too shit and women making up stories because they're just so fed up of being treated like second class. But you're not going to treat my son that way. It's like sometimes women take shit way too far.
Thank you. See, you know what, Dana, which in the last part of what you just said is true. And I do not hear the part, to me, that's unfair in times. I don't hear a lot of sisters take the stance you take until one of those mean, evil chicks do it to your son. Now they come out, but what you're doing now is bringing the balance, because you can clearly see, that women was treated bad. Why is a reason why you got a lot of these movements. I get it. I talk about it, but you ain't gonna do that shit to my motherfucking son. That's basically what you're saying. A lot of women, a lot of our sisters you can't just talk about the woman. You got sons and nephews. You can't forget them, because they're going to go out and date these girls, these angry women that you signed with.
I will say that I'm sorry.
Real quick. Somebody put up a message. It was, you took it down quick. I wanted to address that.
Kativa?
Yeah. Can you put that back up? I want to read it.
I'm going to find it.
It says, I don't know too many black women that would turn down a black man, that would turn a black man down with a good job and good credit. So please stop deflecting. Commitment is more of a black man problem, not a black woman, that sounds like a lesbian talking. I'm no disrespect, but that's just ridiculous, because that sounds like an angry woman that's just in denial about what's going on in our community. There, and I just said it on both sides, because you got a lot of brothers that overlook the good girl that they should be with, but you got thousands of sisters that do the same shit. I'm a nigga straight from off the block. I see it all the time. You know how many times I done told some of the homegirls, yo, don't date no dude like me, man. Go over there and why you not dating Kevin? Okay, one of the homies from the block. What's wrong with Kevin? He go to work every day, like, and you know, people, girls that you love, that you ain't want sex from, they was your homegirls. They like the dudes with the swag, or the dudes that had the right now. They didn't like the dude that had the tomorrow money.
Right.
So and the last part is, we talk about commitment. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me just keep it a buck with you. Women cheat just as much as dudes do, because for every dude that's a dog, there's always a woman providing a service for him. We ain't doing nothing without y'all. For every woman I slept with, that woman had a man too. Y'all do the same shit we do, and y'all do it better. So get out of that bullshit. Let's stop lying to each other.
Let me add to that real quick, and I
want to add to that after you, L.A.R.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna try to keep it real short then. One of the problems I have with our community culture is the fact that we address it with the women in our culture as if they don't do nothing wrong, and they do that when they were out dating men. They could be rude, they ain't do nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. They could be belligerent, they ain't do nothing wrong. They could, you know, they could be cheaters, they ain't do nothing wrong. It's always somebody else's fault. And I think, you know, when you start to get on the women, it's like, wait, what? Us? Yeah, you're not an angel. I know you were told that the men were all devils, but you a devil too then. But I'm done.
He said, hey, Dana, look, Dana, she said she telling the truth and I'm deflecting. I'm trying to figure out where I say that was wrong. Women cheat in the hood more than men do, because it's more women than men. And unless the man is gay, he's banging some coochie.
I mean, women do cheat. We are better at it, but I just think if we're going to go by the numbers, the throughout society, you know, men have been prone to dip out more, but especially nowadays, women don't even have to cheat. There's no such thing as cheating now, because everything is so out in the open. But just to swing back to her original comment, you know, a lot of times it's a lot of women who do. I see a lot of women, and whether they're single mothers or not, they do come across, you would say, an average man, but he has the good job and a good credit, and they want the nigga. But a lot of times what we have to take into the equation is a lot of women don't see themselves of good quality or their self-esteem, and they're not admitting to that. So if you see yourself as a level of quote unquote nigga, then that's who you want, because really that's how you see yourself, low grade. Because when your exterior is not low grade, but your mental is, so you don't want to. It's about a lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want, especially if you are a mother? What kind of lifestyle? Forget about the bag, because again, the bag don't mean that's not security. It's other resources that lends you security, but it's a lifestyle. So do you want a nigga lifestyle, or do you want an upper class lifestyle?
Let me ask you this, Dana, from a woman's perspective, because I talked about this on my channel too. Do you think, because historically black men as a group hasn't had a lot, the black woman in America expectations is the lowest from any woman to a man, like of the group in America. She doesn't expect, like if a black woman was with a white man, she would expect more, or Asian man, or vice. She doesn't expect much from the black man, because historically we haven't had a lot. Do you think that could be a problem too?
It's just, we don't expect much because we never had anything. To whereas your white counterpart, you know, they expect to marry not just a man, but you're married into a family. And I see it. You know, the career that I have when I go to clients' homes and I see the way they live, and some of them is white women, the chatty patties. You know, they talk about how stressed they are, and these are stay-at-home moms, and they having all types of damn anxiety attacks. And they are career women. They're not paying majority of the bills, and they're living in a $2 million condo in Manhattan. But they do, and she said to me, you know, but I do contribute. But so they expect that lifestyle, even though she still have anxiety attacks. and she has a 6-figure, they expect their man to provide them a certain lifestyle. Whereas the Black women, we never had that throughout the decades. So we don't expect that. And now that we could obtain that, you know, you're trained to still think low grade.
Let me add on to that, and I'm gonna go to the opposite of that. Because I've seen guys who have a lot, and because of that ideology, their wives and girlfriends still say a lot ain't enough because he Black. I've seen people have actual the American dream lifestyle, even the Hollywood version, but it ain't enough.
Black, you talking about Black people?
Yeah, I've seen the $1 million houses, 11,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet, the 3-4 cars, the vacations, the trips, the nannies, the maid, the chef, and still it ain't enough.
Yeah, I think don't you think that's more of a psychological and mental thing, because and were they brought up in that lifestyle, or did she just marry into it? Because when you look at your white counterpart, a lot of them, the man and the woman, were brought up in that lifestyle, and that's how they continue to marry.
No, I'll tell you why. Because in those particular instances, in those areas, you did have people who came up with generational wealth that were not Black. And you also had people who worked themselves to those places. And what I find is that, there was a respect for the effort it took to get there, whether it was generational or you was the person that did it. What I saw was with us, there was a lack of respect for what it took to get there.
Yeah, because everybody's chasing the bag or got their own. We're not going. What's the name? Phil Collins had a song called "Two Hearts Living in One Mind," and I used to always listen to that song a lot. And we don't operate like that no more. We operate as individuals while we still in a relationship. We moving as individuals. So and then our behavior,
that's what it is right there.
Yeah, our behaviors comes out as individuals. That's what's happening. We're not moving together, as a team, as a unit. And then when we get upset, what's wrong with you? Nothing. We keep it to ourselves until the powder keg blows. It happens. It happens all the time, because a lot of people have ideas and dreams. Especially a lot of women dream of being married and being in relationships and want to be in a relationship, but they don't have an idea how to be in one because they never was taught. They never had the structure. And most boys don't have no idea what a relationship is. He just coochie, so he stay around it.
Let me do this real quick, George. I'm sorry, Dana, because I've had this conversation for the last 3 weeks. I know Black men who are married and in stable relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The sister is like, but I'm a mother. Meaning she's not his wife no more. She's the mother first. She's not his wife first.
I went through that.
Yeah, so and you get what I'm talking. So that type of thing, even when guys with relationships, that disheartens guys that are single. They're like, wait a minute, if I marry this chick and we have kids, I'm gonna come second fiddle to the kids, and I
gotta address that though.
Good. Do you think?
But that's why single people got to stay out of marriage people business, because every relationship is different. Every personality is different. So you got to remember, man, you could be homeboys, but we might got 2 different personalities. The type of woman that I might get with and marry might not work for you. You might be like, George, I don't see how you with her. Just say we boys and we talk like that. I'm like, oh man, that's my wife. I love her. But she might never be the woman for you. So it's different personalities. You can't look at what's going on in somebody else's relationship and then apply that to you. No. So what happens with women, a lot of times, when women see, there's a lot of things that come into play. When you meet this woman, especially if you've been with somebody for 16 years, married 13 years like me, we met each other, our bodies was different. We were younger. There's a whole lot of things. You get with a woman and y'all start having children, her body changes. Just think when you first got with your girl, she walk around the house naked or the thong on. She just walk free. When she start having them babies, she don't like what she see in the mirror no more. Like she's not comfortable with herself as she used to be. Now, in our minds as a man, we like what we used to see, and we want her to continue those things. But things changes for a woman psychologically. And that's why sometimes you need therapy, or you got to have elders that you can talk to rein y'all back in, because women take a lot of physical changes within a marriage. And things that we were used to getting from that woman when them babies and stuff come in, Man, the priorities go to the babies and a whole bunch of stuff. We be standing here like, hey, I'm over here, me. Hey, me. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It happens. But that's where the communication and a lot of stuff come in that, man. Because
I always say this about women when we become moms. It's like, yeah, whether you're married or not, when you become a mother, where we go wrong as women, we put all our focus on the kids. And really, you have to love yourself first, take care of yourself first before the kids, before your man. And so like you're married. So when you have a kid in that marriage, her attention is not on you, it's on the kid, and it's not even on herself. So and then postpartum is real and it lasts for years and it affects women differently.
Yes,
and men don't understand that because they don't have to go through that, and that's fine. So it's not, so not only are you not getting attention, she's not giving her own self the attention that she needs.
Yeah, they go through psychological things when they start having these body changes, and then they look at themselves like, I had these babies for you, and they start going through a whole bunch of stuff. I went through it, and you had to go to counseling. We had to do all of those things. But I'm gonna tell you what I told my wife one day. I took my wife and we went out on the steps one day, and I told her to look around, and we looked at our cars, and I said, do you know, before, when I first met you, we didn't have none of this. There was no cars. There was no house. There was no children. There was nothing. It was just me and you. So I told her, I looked at her and I said, let me explain something to you. Nobody come before me and you, not even the children. Because if you ain't right and I ain't right, then none of this shit gets taken care of. It started with us. It ends with us. We do this for them. But sometimes you guys, you have to have those communications. It can't be, what's wrong with you? Nothing. You know you want to say what I just said, but you don't have the heart to say it to your woman, or she don't want to. Y'all got to talk to each other. You got to be a man, like hold your nuts and sit your woman down and explain certain. And you ain't got to be aggressive. You got to be mean, but you got to tell your woman how you feel and what's going on. A lot of brothers don't know how to express themselves unless they blow up.
Oh, let me do it, George. Let me do it, because you said we need to mind our business, and I'm gonna say this so you can take this away.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people who are single have this issue. We hear people who are married conversations, and we hear people who are in relationships conversations, and we only hear the bad shit. You know.
I know where you're going, and I already agree with you.
So what happens is, when you look, why are the motherfuckers still together? Because they didn't tell you the good stuff. Because when married people and people in relationships vent, we act like they not people. You get what I'm saying? So they venting, and we think, well, shit, I wouldn't be there for that. But they're venting the bad stuff. They're not venting the good times.
And also, I'm looking at it. Damn, I ain't never getting fucking married. I ain't dealing with that shit. You gotta go through that. You gotta what? You gotta put up with that. No, thank you. But which is I would say a negative for single people, because sometimes if you're single for so long, you don't even know how to really invite another person in your space. Sometimes it's harder if you've been single for a long time. And I have to catch myself with that, learning how to allow people in my space, like a man in my space, and sharing my time in my space, because you don't have to do that if you're single. You could do what you want and be free and be stress-free. So I do find the longer that I'm single, the more I am a little bit more, I am more picky, and I don't know. It's just like, do I want to put up with this shit? And and especially when he's coming with baggage, or if he don't have his shit together, I'm not even entertaining it. But it is harder when you're single for a longer periods of time.
Hold on, George. I'm gonna set this one up nice. That's the beauty of us being single, Dana. We believe our shit don't stink. It's all those married people.
True. That is true.
And people in relationships, they got it fucked up. We're perfect. Okay, I'm sorry, George.
But then I look at it. Okay, I am going to get old, because I'm not old, but in 50 years from now, I'm going to be old. So, and I'm probably going to be smelling like shit. So I think I should invest in somebody now, so I can have a loved one wiping up my shit when I'm old. So
I'm just gonna go ahead and take the gloves off, man. Fuck it. Let me listen. I'm ready. In today's time, they would call me a chauvinist, But what I'm about to say, but I'm just gonna go out and fucking say it. Listen, man. The man is the head, man. When you get a wife and you take on a woman as your wife and she take on your last name and you begin to hold your house down and you put life into that woman and she gives birth to that life and give it back to you and you name that baby and you stand at the doorstep, then that's your role as a man. Women are emotional and they go through ups and downs. They go through all kinds of hormonal stuff, man, periods. When you get our age, they go through the PMSing. They go through a lot of stuff, man. And when you, as a man, as a leader, leadership. It takes a lot to be a leader, to lead a home with a wife, children, bills, everything, man, and keep the home intact. Man, that's a fucking job. That's a job. So it's just like your job is to keep your woman mentally stable in this society. And maintaining a marriage as a black man in a society that's anti-relationship is hard than a motherfucker. So what I'm saying is you got to dictate the pace. Any woman, this is what I know. A woman by nature, when she gets with a man's man, when she knows that she's with a man, she's going to submit to you. The problem is, I don't even like these submission conversations because that's how I know that these dudes ain't get to a place of a man's man yet. Because I don't have them type of problems. Because I don't have a problem expressing myself and saying, listen, this is what we're doing. I don't have to put my hands on my wife. I've proven myself over the years with being consistent. And if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And if I can't do it, then we can't do it. And I always reassure her that she's safe and I got her. That's the role of being a leader. If you're going to be, if you don't want to be married, I ain't talking to you. But if you want to be at the head of a family as a man, then you got to be a leader. And being a leader things don't always go smooth. And sometimes, sometimes you got to be real. You got to be the authority. It is what it is. Women respect that more. A lot of this shit, a lot of this stuff that I hear going on, you watching other people. Listen, that's not your relationship. And then another problem is you got married dudes that be with their homies and they out doing fuck shit with their homies, and the homie is on the side watching like, damn, this nigga married. He cheat every time I cheat. That's what marriage life is. And the girls be doing the same shit, or they come out and tell their business to their friends, where what's going on in your house ain't nobody else's fucking business. That's between you and your wife. Y'all supposed to be working that out. Y'all are the team. And well, this is where we go wrong.
Let me say this real quick. We're not a team because we've for one, we've been taught not to be a team, and for two, we double down on not being a team, even if no teamwork helps us out. And the reason I'm saying that is because the one thing that I definitely agree with you what you were saying, George, but the one thing I started thinking about is whether you're a leader or not. Well, no, when a man and woman get together, he might have a struggle being a leader, and she might have a struggle submitting.
But what I'm trying to tell you is this. Understand what I'm saying to you. And you would have to be living this to fully grasp what I'm saying. I don't fuck all that her having a problem submitting. Listen, when you are a man,
can you please define being submissive, because a lot of people have so many different definitions, and I think George, and even a little bit of you, L.A.R., even though you're single, but I think George will have more of a accurate, logical definition of submission, because men think submission is you're my pet, so you got to do what I say or something.
No. When I talk about submission, I'm saying she's cooperating. If you say we going this way, she's going that way with you, because she knows you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I need George to.
I get it. I get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm telling you, I learned this. I've been through ups and downs with different women, right? I told my stories about all the things I've been through. Me being raised by my dad, a military guy, a man's military guy, and a revolutionary guy, black liberation, a man's man. My personality is the same as his. So I don't have to beat my woman to get her to do what I want. My father always taught me to be consistent and keep your word. And what I did was level myself up and got myself together. And my wife saw me and she wanted to be a part of my program. Remember, a woman is a receiver. You go into her. She gives life and gives back to you what you gave her. And then she nourishes it. So that you're the leader. You have to maintain what you have. And a lot of us don't understand what leadership is if you want to be in a relationship with a woman. Fuck, I never mentioned submit to my wife. I just was a fucking man. And she wanted to roll with my program.
Right.
Now,
and would you say one of her acts of submission, without the word even been said, was her financially helping in a relationship when you didn't have it? Like that's a form of her submitting to you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry, George. When it comes to leadership, here's where most men get it wrong. When you're in a leadership position, everything goes through you, but that goes for the good and the bad. You give everybody the credit when you winning, and you take all the blame when you losing. A lot of guys do not want to do that. They want all the credit.
But that's right. But see, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm reading the chat where some guys saying, well, yeah, but she'll take all yours in the court, or she not going to do this. But coming from brothers that's not married. This is the thing. If you don't want to get married, don't get married. I'm not telling you to get married. That's your business. I don't care. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm straight. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. So my thing is this. I know what it's like to be on this side, and not for 5 minutes either. For 13 years. Not married for a year or 6 months and it didn't work out and I just got up and left. No, we worked it out. See, marriage is not something that's promised like life or death. It's something you got to fight for and work through. And a lot of y'all just about y'all. But the thing is, L.A.R., the flip side of that is, because I come from this flip side too.
Mm-hmm.
When you just doing you, guess what happens when you casual sex? Because you niggas ain't gonna stop fucking.
Right.
So let's just keep it a buck. And y'all all ain't using condoms. You can talk that shit on YouTube all you want. I done put my dick on the crap table many a night. All of us do it. So what I'm saying is, when you get with that person, as a man understanding leadership, I'm telling you, I never had to speak to my wife. Now, we had arguments. We've blown up and had arguments and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just being in a relationship and you have your ups and downs, but submissiveness, no. My wife has always, let me find the words. I'm going to throw money out. My wife has always catered to that very thing that I needed in order to sustain a relationship. She's always catered to my inner spirit, something that inner me that kept me going. She knew how to rub that ego. Like, she always made sure even when she's mouthing off of something, she knows how to go far. She knows how to not go too far as trying to take my manhood or something like that. Like my wife always she always protected me. And I keep her covered at the same time. Like, we don't, I don't know. Like, that's this submission shit.
Honestly, I think you said it from the way beginning. You said you never even have to utter the word submission in your marriage or your relationship. And see, a lot of men, when you have to use the word submission to a woman, when you're courting her, dating her, you're already off on the wrong foot. You don't know what you're doing as a man. Submitting, a woman submit, like, if you didn't even have to say it and she was submitting to you or cooperating without you even saying it, that is what being a man is. And a lot of men don't get that. You don't have to yell. You don't have to call her name. You don't have to say the word submission or being submitted. You don't have to explain yourself when you are a man and you know your role.
I think the problem, Dana, is a lot of the brothers in the chat, watch this, right? A lot of the brothers in the chat are good brothers. Even if they talking fuckery, right? But the problem with a lot of my brothers is they don't understand leadership. And they may think, hey, I got a good job. Hey, no, that's not
right. Leadership.
Well, I don't understand leadership. And what I do, and L.A.R. know, my content ain't for women. I don't talk. Mm-hmm. I get women to come watch me, but I don't talk to women. I talk to men about accountability and leadership. Because when you walking in your own truth as a man in your destiny, Women, man, listen, I walk to my wife, man. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. This is the truth. Before I met my wife, right, I was dating this other girl, and I used to be coming down. I used to get off the highway in my truck every morning, right, for like a month straight. I used to see my wife walking to her job. Where she lived at, her job was like 3 blocks down, because at that time she was going to school and working at a daycare. And I used to try, Dana, I'm telling you, I used to try to talk to this girl every morning. She wouldn't talk to me, right? This is a true story. I did it like 5 times. And here I had another girlfriend, but I used to try to talk to this girl. We had a barbecue on Memorial Day at my father's house. And I'm at the house with the girl that I was dating, and in walks my sister with my future wife. Now, mind you, they was going to church together. I never known. I took my sister in the kitchen and was like, hey, I didn't know you know her. We end up talking. We end up getting together. You know, we end up, long story short, we've been together 16 years, right? And what I'm saying is most black men don't understand that when you walk in, like, I'm gonna tell you, I said that to say, I asked this woman, and we were in Fridays when we first met, and I was just fucking around. I was like, what you doing for the next 35 years? And she's like, well, I said, I want you to walk with me. And at that time,
oh, I love that line.
Yeah, at that time, I was still just learning and growing in myself. But I've always been a man. And I just tell brothers, when you walking in your truth and being a man, the word submission from a woman will never come out your mouth. Man.
That line you just said alone, if men use that, they don't realize how much ass they could get with that line.
Let me just say something for the men out here.
How much cooperation.
That's what you want to hear, Dane? You know what? Hold on.
Shut up.
When it comes to leadership, here's the thing I need men to know seriously. You're going to have to be a leader with or without a woman, period. So you can't get away from that. You know what I'm saying? A relationship is not going to absolve you of being a leader. And if you're a good leader, guess what? Even good leaders have people who are uncooperative. But what winds up happening is they recognize they had a good leader while they're being uncooperative whenever they want to go rogue. But as a man, you're going to have to be a leader regardless. Because if you're not, what is a man without a direction? You have no direction, you have no plan, you have no discipline, you have no structure. So if you don't do that for your damn self, you're going nowhere. See, when these guys are saying be leaders, you got to be that for yourself. A woman can see you having a plan, a guy, you're going a particular way, you're structured, you're disciplined, you got your stuff together. She can see that. Now, you ain't got to argue with her about that because you're going in that direction before you meet her. You don't get with a woman and then become a leader. You become a leader and then women look at you like, well, she might want to be with you. If it don't work, it don't work. This shit is perfect.
That was perfect, L.A.R. You just hit it. L.A.R., you hit it on the nose for the brothers in the chat. I don't care. You don't listen. I'm going to say this to y'all. If you don't want to be with a woman, fine, but you still going to have to be a leader. You still going to have to be a boss. You still going to have to be a stand-up man. You still going to have to be an achiever. You still going to have to be a problem solver, whether you with a woman or not. So now it just makes it all better. When you are a problem solver, an achiever, and all these different things, women, I want to let y'all know, women read the credits, man. Women know who the producers are. Women be at these shows. They know who getting money and who ain't. They know who producing. So you're going to have to produce anyway. Just having a woman that's on your program is a plus. But you're going to have to do that anyway. So L.A.R., you just, listen, that's it. You just hit it on the nose. You're going to have to be a problem solver any fucking way. Period. And you won't have to worry too much about it.
I think the question is, I'm not a man, and I wouldn't be able to answer that. But the question is, what men need to start doing on their YouTube platforms or any social media platform or anywhere is teaching men and boys how to just lead in life, period. Like, so what you just said is absolutely right, but they don't know how to do it. They think they do. They're not going to admit that they don't. That's where the conversation needs to go. That has nothing to do with women. It's not about marriage or relations. It's about self-improvement. How do you lead? How do you be a leader?
That's it. You know what, Dana, though? I'll tell brothers, stop comparing yourself to women. We ain't talking about the women. I'm trying to get you to walk with your chest up and be a problem solver. Because a lot of those, what I've learned, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of those women that's down with the fuckery, when you get your shit together, they're not even gonna be able to be in your space, and they gonna know it too. Damn, I used to be able to get with him, man. He not even playing in my circle like that no more. They're not gonna be in your space when you get your shit tight. You get to dictate the terms on what you want. I try to tell brothers, because in the society we live in now, don't teach black men to have standards. Have standards for yourself. You know, have a vision for yourself of where you're going and the type of woman you want. And it'll show up. I'm telling you, when I came home from prison, a man named Zachary Ricketts taught me this. My dad didn't teach me this. My dad was a provider. He didn't teach me this. Another man that was a father figure taught me this. I went from a nigga to a black man. And we never talked about women. We talked about leveling up, getting myself together. That's what we talked about.
I'm gonna say this for the men in the chat, and I agree with you saying about don't do it for the women. There's a part of being a leader that we don't want to talk about. It ain't gonna be cool. You're gonna have to get your hands dirty. You're gonna have to be up late. You're gonna have to be up early. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do the same process. You're gonna have to refine something, which means doing it over and over and over again when it's tedious, when it gets on your damn nerves. You're gonna have to do the leader stuff when everybody else is having a good time. That's the part of being a leader that we don't want to admit is unattractive. You're gonna be the leader when everybody's saying your name and everybody got your back. But let me tell you something. When everybody is sleeping, you still got to be working.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at you to be the leader. You got to make sure shit is in order. You can't sleep until everything is in order. They can. So, I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, we just got to, I think, I actually was talking to Obsidian and Tony.
Oh, God.
Oh, you was on a panel, L.A.R. You came on late. I was talking to Obsidian, and I was talking about in our communities, because even when I was growing up, my father was a provider. My father still had PTSD from the war when he came home. He was a provider, but he wasn't a great father. Like, put his arm around you and guide you. His brother, my uncle, was, but he died. So I was never really taught what proper standards was for a man to have. You understand what I'm saying, L.A.R.? The proper standards. Nobody never taught me that until I went to prison. Ironically, I learned that in prison, not when I was on the street. Nobody never told me, corrected me. My father did it, but it was in a fussing way, not a teaching at that time. And a lot of black men and boys, we're not taught to have proper standards. It's kind of like, I'll say this, right? And I could be wrong, but this is the way I see it, right? I said this to my wife the other day. A woman can be like, hey, he too short, he too tall, he too fat, he don't have enough money, he's too dark, his breath stink. Black dudes can't say that because he'll get shamed for having a standard or the type of, she too fat. What do you mean she too fat? What? It's like we're told in a society what we should. You understand what I'm trying to say, Dana?
Yeah, but y'all do that. Yeah, men do have. Well, when it comes to aesthetics of a woman, y'all have standards or y'all have preferences.
We get shamed for calling it out publicly, though. You better not say that.
Oh, publicly.
Yeah, you better not say. But a woman can do it, though. We can't do that. So it's but there is a psychological effect that come with that. And I think that we got to teach black boys.
Say something before this drilling start. Would you say that the men, your dad teaches their sons how to lead and be a man, and mom, that's her responsibility to teach her son how to love. Like the love and the care for women should come from the mother, and the other should come from the man.
But I think if you grow up in a fractured household, you're not getting that. And what I think, let me just say this: the reason why I'm always so mine is male driven, because for me, L.A.R. and Dana, what I see, we got a lot of black female fuckery. But when I was growing up, four of my main homies had 5 kids, about 5 different women, and 2 of my main homies, he had 3 sons, and like a month and then 2 weeks apart. And what I learned was, damn, dudes can just make babies all over the fucking place. And a woman can only have that one baby that one year, but my homies can have 5 babies in one fucking year. Like that, when a boy is not protected and don't have structure, we don't understand the destruction that he can cause within the community he lives in. Because he can be the leader or he can destroy it because of the role that we have. So we gotta. That's why I was so glad that you said what you said an hour ago, Dana, when you said these angry women ain't gonna be doing this shit to my son. We gotta protect our sons and raise them up right, where he know the most important thing he got inside of him is his seed. That's why he got to be a leader, because if he spill that anywhere, community's fucked up. But people call me saying what I'm saying because they're not hearing what I'm saying. They're not hearing me. I can go get the whole block pregnant and move to Seattle right now. A woman can't do that, but I can. So we got to rein our boys. We need to pay more. We need to be paying special attention to our boys in the community that we live in, and we don't. We put the girls first. We gotta get reign and get control of these fucking boys, because you'll start to see this thing change. But it's like nobody really cares about the boys.
Yeah,
right. I agree.
Dana, you can have the last word. I'm gonna have to get out of here so I could go do my blackmail fuckery.
Wait, on a food stamp network. He said the food. Well, Shay said the food stamp content. No, I mean. So yeah, I'm glad I came on. Thanks for having me, L.A.R. And I like your message. I gotta subscribe. You have a channel, right, George? I have to subscribe to it. And maybe I'll have you on my platform too. You're not busy, but I just want to say, yeah, I just, it's not about. I'm really tired, especially going to 2020. Men still saying black women this, black women that in a negative light, and I get it. I don't date women, so I'm pretty sure a lot of men come up against a negative things with dating women, particularly black women. But it's not all the black women's fault. We have a problem in the black community, men and women. It's an equal balance here of dysfunction. So, for all the bullshit that women do, men do, and we need to just kind of break off to do some self-improvement. Women need to level up, and so do men. But only men, logical men, leaders could teach other men what it takes to lead and to level up. And the same goes for women. So hopefully I can hear more of that content and not just berating or bashing women and vice versa, men.
Yeah, my link in the chat, Dana. You can see I'm putting George Macon too.
She muted.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank y'all for coming.
Dana, I was finished. Thank you for having me though.
Okay, you got his page?
Yeah, no, I'm about to hit it now.
Okay. Because I'm about to get out of here so I could be a detriment to the community tonight. And
I'm about to go in the basement and finish this song with the Temptations. We got to show.
Yeah.
Okay, just subscribe. Yeah.
We got a show tomorrow at the Holiday Inn.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Let me get out of here.
We got a show at the Holiday Inn lobby.
Wear the shiny suit. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. I'm on my Russell Simmons. Peace.